Alright, Nikandros uploaded a brand new video on the Nux Taku arc. Guys, if you have not seen my first video on the Nikandros Nux Taku situation in general, I would highly recommend you watch my first reaction to it that I uploaded back in February of this year. Link to that will be in the description below. It is a bit of a long watch, so if you're already caught up on the Nux Taku situation, feel free to stick around. Basically, Nux Taku, I've talked about it on the channel pretty extensively, actually, like throughout different topics, but Nux Taku got exposed for being a threat to children. Basically, his Discord server, it was a Patreon exclusive Discord server, and there was a 14-year-old kid. Nux Taku more than likely knew the age that this kid was a 14-year-old kid who was self-harming and dropped out of high school because somebody in the Discord server was effectively grooming him to do these things. He was exposed to tons of NSFW content, which is gore, lolicon content. They were exposed to so much shit that made them go through so much emotional distress. And basically, Nux Taku had the guy who did it on his podcast to be like, oh, hey, by the way, this guy's a cool guy. Yeah. Totally not a suspicious guy or anything. He's had tons of children watch his content, and he would have the links to the websites where he would explore this hentai/lolicon content uncensored, so anyone at any point could look up the links to these without any sort of repercussion, and there's no age verification process on any of these websites. So Nux Taku, for all intents and purposes, just was so neglectful to being a threat to children in his audience. He just did not give a shit whatsoever. Which is very ironic because he virtue signaled over a situation that was less bad than his, Ava Chris Tyson. I don't think Ava Chris Tyson's a good person, but like Nux Taku is basically the Ava Chris Tyson situation, but like 12-fold. Like it is 12 times worse than like anything Ava Tyson has ever done. It's like Nux Taku's situation is so incredibly disgusting, and tons of people are sweeping for him as well, and that's what this video is about. Nux Taku's defense and degenerate defense network. Yeah, there were a lot of people defending him. We covered one of them on the channel, Leaflet.
It's just, it's an annoying game overall, but, you know, what is this? It's nothing to do with minors being... What the wow, Jesus Christ. People, like, honestly, like, guys... I'm gonna be real. Like, if you're a content creator...
Just to be clear, Asmongold heard of the Nux Taku situation before he came across that on his feed. Every reaction Asmongold has is performative. He always pre-watches everything that he sees, and he knew about the Nux Taku situation. I don't doubt for a second that he knew about it, because Asmongold doesn't have anything better to do with his life. He sits on Twitter all fucking day, and the Nux Taku situation did make the rounds on Twitter. I just don't think a lot of right-wingers particularly cared that much, truthfully. And I don't think particularly Asmongold cares that much either, considering he literally sweeps for Donald Trump being in the Epstein list, especially with the new leaks that came out, where Trump is mentioned so many times in the new leaks, and like it's basically confirmed that Trump was threatening children on that island, basically, to not come forward, and best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 10 years. Yeah, pretty bad stuff, and Asmongold is still very pro-Trump on everything. It's interesting how that works.
You need to stop interacting with anybody that's under 18. You do. You need to...
Whoa, hot take, guys.
Stop doing it. It's a massive fucking mistake. You are putting yourself in a bad situation. Stop, like, do not let the kids, do not let them on your Discord. Don't let them in your community. Don't do anything. What was posted? No, Los Polos didn't do anything, right? Like, this is just some other bullshit, right? And,
wait, what does that say on the screen?
Didn't do anything, right? Like, this is just...
Doesn't specify what he's even addressing to avoid giving it visibility.
Some other bullshit, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Asmongold doesn't particularly care about rape and pedophilia. He sweeps for Donald Trump. I have a whole YouTube short of him sweeping for Donald Trump being in the Epstein files.
And, yeah, it's a total liability. And if you're not a content creator, I mean, listen, whenever you're a content creator and you have a community, it is just better for everybody that kids are not allowed in it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's great, Asmongold. What about President Trump, the guy that you love so much, the guy who definitely went to Epstein Island, the guy who was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for 15 years? He is doing everything he can to filibuster releasing the Epstein client list. What about that guy, Asmongold? Do you have anything to say in regards to him?
I think that's very...
Oh, right, you don't, because you don't actually care about this topic.
Very fair.
Welcome. I'm Nikandros. Remember this? Nux has always been good to me, and I'm a guy who's always going to have the back of my friends. However, I will also be the first guy to hold my friends accountable.
Wait, this is so fun. This is so funny. This is the same guy who fucking complains when everybody, like, backed away from him when the court documents got released that Tectone lost his fucking guns for a decade, and he has a 10-year protective order because he was raping and stalking his ex-girlfriend. All of it is in the fucking court documents. I also do not care to debate anybody on this topic. I know tons of Tectone defenders get so butthurt when you bring it up, but, like, the court documents don't lie, guys. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to say there's no evidence, you're like, oh my god, guys, the evidence doesn't exist. My eyes are closed. Oh my god, the eyes are closed. I don't see the evidence, which means it just doesn't exist, guys. I'm in my MAGA echo chamber, and I don't know what evidence exists. I don't care to debate this topic, okay? Like, I don't know how to talk to you. If you're not willing to accept court documents as fact, which, by the way, court documents are considered evidence, like, just to be absolutely clear. And there was enough evidence in court to show that Tectone got a 10-year protective order and he lost his guns for a decade because of his horrific abuse and assault towards Pikachu. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's pretty damning evidence, pretty irrefutable evidence at that as well. But I guess they have to examine the Pinkchu's pussy, I guess, to find out if she was raped or not. I guess that it's not enough evidence until they can do that, I suppose.
See about that. And what did we see?
Anyways,
well, you know what they say, predators stick in flocks, guys.
like Nux Taku completely obliterated all of the allegations that were thrown his way in the matter of 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nux Taku hardly addressed any of the Nikandros stuff, to my understanding. I think he was doing everything he could to not address it and to make sure to hide it as much as possible so people weren't talking about it.
So that was always really fun. I mean, the amount of people were like, you need to denounce Nux. You need to denounce Nux. I'm good, bro. I love Nux. Straight up. I don't care.
You're not going to weigh the evidence or be transparent with your audience about what the allegations even are.
I don't care.
Of course not. When a Kotaku journalist speculates about Bowser being bisexual, Tectone demands the author to be investigated. And this screams child groomer, not gonna lie. However...
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's always the groomer panic with LGBTQ people. It's always the people that say that LGBTQ people are grooming people that have skeletons in their closet that most likely are the real threats to children. What's the matter, guys? Do you want to keep all the children for yourself?
When he's asked about his friend's long history of profiting from exposing masses of young children to incredibly obscene content and funneling them to dangerous and barely moderated communities...
I don't care.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I also must have forgotten that he's a racist. Why
Yeah, that too. Which, by the way, Tectone fans, which are very aligned with MAGA, don't particularly care about facts. So they're gonna see, like, oh, but there's no evidence. Meanwhile, if Tectone was a liberal or a leftist and he was accused of being a rapist, these people would be the first to jump on the bandwagon to dunk on him. Like, you know damn well that's the case. Also, if he won the civil case, everybody would be parading behind him. So again, these people are not rooted in facts. They don't really care about anything. And, like, again, we're at a point now where MAGA has accepted rape and pedophilia as the norm. That's where we're at. And Tectone has just fully embraced it. So, I mean, also, Tectone sweeps for Trump being in the files as well. He says that if people think that Trump is a pedophile, then they're stupid. Which, that's the tweet that got me blocked, by the way, by Tectone. I retweeted it, basically saying that predators stick in flocks, and then he just blocked me. Damn.
would I
that one got to him.
reasonably expect anything from him? What does he even mean by Nux Taku obliterating the allegations? I've been waiting and I can't see a response from him. Oh wait, I'm blind. There it is. Plain as day. 21 minutes deep into a video called It Backfired. He effing found out. Now that's what I...
Dude, like, I don't know, man. Like, I am at a point now where I'm so bored of Hassan drama. I haven't covered Hassan since, like, March of this year, and I plan to keep it that way for probably a long time, because I just don't really... Like, I know there was some shoe-on-head Hassan slop, and I just don't care. Because I feel like a lot of the anti-Hassan crowd is just aligned with people that are, like, extremely right-wing. Again, I'm not going to say that Hassan is a good person at all. I don't like Hassan. I think his politics fucking suck. I think being far-left sucks. But I also am not going to sit here and say that Hassan is as bad as someone like Tectone, who's a rapist, or Nux Taku, who's a threat to children, or Asmongold, who's a white supremacist. Like, Hassan is just a lolcow. These people are an actual threat to the political atmosphere every single day that they fucking exist.
Called burying the lead. That's apparently a very common criticism for my video.
I tried starting to watch some of, like, the shit about what-
Oh, Kirsch. Oh my god, don't even get me started on this fucking weird Asmongold orbiter. This is like an Asmongold orbiter that justifies Lolly and was bullied in high school, so she became a right-wing grifter.
is going on, and I was like, oh, I'm in the car for like an hour and a half, let's throw on that Nikandros video. And like, the beginning of the video starts out with him just lobbing a ton of insults at Tectone.
Problem?
And I kept having to look back, and I was like, this was a video about Nux, right? Like, what?
It's very interesting. These people, if it wasn't the fucking Tectone thing, she would have found another reason to not watch the video and educate herself on the Nux Taku video, because she's also very aligned with right-wing spaces. So she has to find any justification she can to just not watch the video. The Tectone thing has absolutely nothing to do with why she doesn't want to watch the video. I just want to make that clear.
What is happening?
That's the first 2 minutes of an 80-minute video.
And so finally, after he finishes berating Tectone,
2 minutes.
he goes into talking about, like, Nux having weird censored thumbnails that weren't censored enough, and it's like, well, that was a meta on YouTube for a while.
Where?
I remember a lot of people having, like, weirdly lewd implication thumbnails.
Can you name a content creator that did that?
I don't, maybe
Give an example, girly.
that's bad, I don't know, like, that was just a thing for a while.
The first time
Bro, she is so dumb. At this point, you're gonna need to go back to high school and get bullied some more, Kirsch, honestly.
thumbnails are brought up is 13 minutes in. After showing Nux Taku describe his past content as him reacting to weird stuff from Japan, I show Nux Taku using a drawing of a fully naked underage girl on his thumbnail.
Yeah, that which is a form of lolly.
Maybe that's bad, I don't know.
These people are so fucking shameless. Oh my god, these people are so gross.
You can still find
It's just like, I don't get it. These people are just like doing everything they can to sweep for their fucking spaces.
it uncensored on his channel, by the way.
And then he's going on about these thumbnails, and then I fell asleep.
The thumbnails are on screen for 17 seconds.
And I feel like if you're making an expose video,
Well, just to be clear, Kirsch, I'm pretty sure there was a tweet that existed of Kirsch, like, okaying Shadman and being totally fine with Shadman. So, like, Kirsch is totally fine with lolly content. That's why she sees absolutely no problem with what Nux is doing, because she's pathetic.
and it's supposed to be like, this guy is big, bad, evil man, here is why. You should put the big, bad, evil man stuff, like, in the front. You should front load it, because
He did. You just found every excuse to not find it bad or to not watch it.
I shouldn't be falling asleep in the middle of your video if I'm supposed to be gaining pertinent information.
Well, if children being sexualized makes you fall asleep, I have to question your moral compass at that point.
A diabetic coma continues to be the best explanation for what happened here. The previously mentioned 17 seconds are immediately followed up with clips of Nux exhibiting a comic to his audience in which a little girl is raped by a pack of monkeys before a crowd of children.
Well, that was a meta on YouTube for a while.
Before this segment, I established a timeline. Nux Taku was already criticizing the hot tub meta on Twitch before he uploaded this video. So he was criticizing a meta on another platform that involves putting softcore pornography on a 13+ website, while supposedly participating in a meta of regularly publishing incredibly obscene porn on his channel for a child audience to view.
Dude, it's just so fucking gross looking at this content. It is disgusting.
As I established even...
Oh man, I forgot how bad the story got. Like, it's been a little bit since I deep dived the Nux Taku situation, and oh my god, every single part of this story sucks. It's so gross that this was, like, seen as okay.
Earlier in the video, Nux Taku currently holds himself out as this voice against degeneracy and hedonism, while totally obfuscating his own past. Not only does he describe his past content in a totally disingenuous manner that downplays the severity of his actions, he will delete evidence of his past when it arouses controversy. This is a...
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, there's not really anything that Nux Taku can say that would justify or bring him back in the limelight in a good way. Like, Nux Taku is, for all intents and purposes, cooked, as the kids would say. He is fucked. Like, he clearly has proven himself to be a threat to children. Meanwhile, he'll cry about LGBTQ people being groomers when he is okay with grooming happening in his fucking Discord server. And we have overwhelming evidence against it.
A massive indictment.
But it's okay. I already know that, like, the Asmongold fans and the right-wing audience is going to come to this video and dislike bomb it without even watching anything that I have to say about it or looking at any of the evidence, because none of them are facts-based at all. They are all feelings-based. Oh no, I'm criticizing a content creator that makes you feel good. Oh no, okay. Stay mad, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Stay fucking angry.
Nux Taku.
You'll never have any legitimate argument against me. You're just gonna come to the comment section and resort to saying like your slurs, and then you're gonna move on, and then you're not gonna care, and then you're gonna go back to being a cryberry baby searching for any video that criticizes your favorite content creator. You people don't care about anything.
Character 70 minutes in. Kirsch claims to have watched the video, but still deploys the "he was doing a meta" defense.
Well, she was trying to pull off the whole, like, I didn't watch the video, but I did watch the video. I didn't watch the video, but I did watch the... Like, she was trying to go back and forth about it. She was trying to be, like, lukewarm and trying to make it seem like a nothing burger to downplay it as much as possible. But it makes her look pathetic, if anything.
Even though it was debunked in that very video.
I'm willing to bet that Kirsch watched the entire video off stream and she doesn't care about any of Nux Taku's wrongdoing, and she's just trying to find every way that she can downplay it as much as possible. That's what I honest to God think she did.
Kirsch comments on Nux spurring his response to me 21 minutes deep into a random Assad video.
The Protocaster, thank you. Nux vid, it backfired. He fucking found out with Hassan thumbnail 22 hours ago. Addressing the allegation starts or 21 minutes in. I do not know if I'm gonna have chance to get to that stuff today, so that might have to be either on my own time and then I bring up clips and stuff, or like whatever on the weekend. I'm not sure.
No comment on that at all? My video not being adequately front-loaded means it's a nothing burger. But Nux Taku's defense being buried 21 minutes deep into a random Assad video is nothing to be concerned about. It is...
Ah, yes. That's really funny. That's really funny. Hey, I think Nux Taku burying his response deep in a video, we can watch that, but like also, oh my god, he didn't fucking say the allegations immediately or whatever. She just wants to find every excuse to sweep for Nux. She doesn't care that he's a fucking weird lolly-obsessed freak that has children in his Discord that get groomed. She doesn't care.
But it being an obvious sign...
This also might be, like, a very, very good example of purity testing on the right. Like, the very few instances of it. There is purity testing on the right. It's not as good as the purity... Or it's not as prevalent as the purity testing on the left. The purity testing on the left is more prevalent to a fault, and I will agree that you could criticize the left for purity testing their own too much. I agree. But, like, the right only purity tests if you criticize Trump or if you're not okay with rape and pedophilia. That's really it. Like, if you criticize any of those things, like, then you're basically done so. Also, same for, being okay with gay or trans people as well. That's, like, another thing that might get you purity tested.
That is trying to draw as little attention to it as possible.
Still want Kirsha to check out the Nux vid. It's been too long. Should see them and make up her mind. I have no idea what's going on with Nux, and I have far more important things going on in real life at the moment.
So she's happy to publicly spread lies about my video, but she's way too busy to publicly engage with it or with Nux Taku's response. In that segment, I also pointed out that Nux Taku claimed he was going to confront Shadman for making lolly reality comics. That obviously can't be true if he was fine with putting lolly reality comics on his own channel before and after that collab was supposed to happen. Coincidentally, Kirsch has her own history with Shadman.
Imagine wanting art of yourself from the man of Shad. You know, I feel like that's when I'll know I've made it as a VTweber.
What a weird fuck, dude. What a weird piece of shit. You know, I'm about to give a hot... You guys might think I'm sexist for this, and, like, whatever, but I almost think it's worse for a woman to be into lolicon, or, like, a woman to be worse than a shotacon, or, like, a woman to be, like, a predator. I almost think it's worse, and that might sound sexist of me, but I feel like as a woman, you should understand what it's like to be predatorized by a bunch of men, because it's, like, usually, like, statistics say that, like, men are more likely than not to be predators. Not saying women can't be predators, obviously, but, like, I think it's almost worse for a woman to do that because it feels like a betrayal of your own at that point.
I'll have Shadman art, and then life will be complete. I can retire in peace.
What a fucking weird piece of shit, dude. Oh my god.
Many years, Kirsch would make requests.
Yep, this is the tweet I was talking about right here, where Kirsch basically saying, you can't retire as it's my one goal to be drawn by you one day, by Shadman. Yep, so, again, I told you she's okay with Lolicon.
Like this of Shadman on Twitter and on streams. In 2023, she learned about Shadman's history of drawing porn of real children, which happened almost 10 years ago and is one of the most infamous things about him, after which she never said that again.
Moral crusades are moral crusades. It's just like the Twitter freaks virtue signaling, and if there are people like super chatting to Null about how apparently I still like Shadman when I do not, and I have not.
Why the fuck does your VTuber model have bouncing physics? Like, listen, it's one thing if you add jiggle physics for viewers, I get it, but like her jiggle physics are glitchy. They like teleport. I swear to fucking god. Why? Like, you know she does that intentionally.
Since I learned about him last year.
The problem is...
Also, I missed her point entirely. I was so distracted. Sorry, guys.
Moral crusades are moral crusades. It's just like the Twitter freaks virtue signaling, and if there are people like super chatting.
Okay, well, Twitter is insanely right-wing now, so I don't really think that the whole Twitter virtue signaling freaks is as much of a valid argument now as it was maybe like a couple of years ago.
To Null about how apparently I still like Shadman when I do not, and I have not since I learned about him last year.
I don't believe you for a second. I learned about Shadman and I disavow. Shut the fuck up. You always knew. Everybody knew about Shadman being a freak for years, alright? Like, enough.
The problem is that she did.
I can always see if Shadman is taking commissions. It has always been a dream of mine to have artwork done by the Shadman. by the Shad? Wasn't he in prison for drugs? I mean, Shad is a very controversial figure, but...
So you knew he was controversial. If you know... When you say somebody's a controversial figure, 9.9 times out of 10, you know what that controversy is. So she just outwardly lies, saying, once I learn about the controversy, I no longer associate... So she just lies there.
I still want artwork from him.
Was she lying on purpose to get away from the Chris Tyson Shadman list drama? No.
I would appreciate if you wouldn't repeat that I still like Shadman.
You do.
Because that is
deep down, you wish you still got drawn by him.
Not true. I have brain damage, so I forget things frequently, and I don't expect anyone who doesn't watch me to believe that.
I think they will.
At the time,
it's very easy to see you have brain damage. I mean, you're a right-wing grifter, and a lot of right-wing grifters have brain damage, so that part I can believe.
Time I made those, I had no idea of Shadman's crimes.
She did.
Did you get all that brain damage from all the bullying you experienced in high school, Kirsch? Did those bullies pound your head against the locker too hard?
Didn't know about the one crime that he was actually arrested for.
And I admitted that, and I read Null's post, and I was like, wow, he seems like a fuck retard, actually. That's kind of disgusting. And then, several months later, I forgot about that and reiterated, oh, you know, I would like Shad meme art. My chat was like, Kirsha, you fucking idiot. He did the thing. And I was like, ah, shit, chat, you're right. He did do the thing. Fuck me. Fuck me, chat, you're right. So, no, I do not wish to have art from Shadman.
Yes, you do.
Then her mods also yelled at her, how could you forget? Look, it happens, man. It happens. I have actual fucking brain damage, and I'm sorry, I can't-
Yeah, we get it. You don't have to say it more than once. I'm sure anyone with half a fucking brain understands you have brain damage. Like, we all understand that as a concept.
Can't help it. But literally, my entire brand is built on trying to be as-
Kirsch is the type of person to get bullied by people in high school and still wishes she could sleep with the bullies. That's the kind of person Kirsch is. Oh my god, maybe that one's a little bit too crass of me? I don't know. Let me know.
As possible.
That's not quite what happened. She did receive a message from a moderator reminding her about Shadman's past. But Kirsch didn't go, oops, I messed up, as she claimed. Instead, she rephrased her wish.
There's a new rumor about Shadman every month. I mean, I don't keep up with it. I just know him as a notorious online internet figure, man. I don't support him. I don't hate him. But like when you're online,
I don't support him. Also, I want art drawn of me by him, which is some level of support that I'm trying to give him because I'm expressing how much of a fan I am of him. Oh, okay. Great logic there, Kirsch.
If you get Shadman art, you know, you kind of made it.
After the Chris Tyson Shadman drama broke out, she was supposedly horrified to have found out that she was speaking about such a monster in such a casual manner. But before, when
Yeah, it's all a virtue signal. She doesn't actually care. She's just virtue signaling, so I guess, like, for one reason or another, I don't know. Maybe because, like, Shadman, I guess, like, I guess at a certain point, people couldn't defend Shadman anymore. And this was, like, before the Trump-Epstein stuff came into the limelight, before people started defending rape and pedophilia anyways, but this wasn't really when, like, the right, or the insane right, I should say, was, like, hardcore defending it as much.
she had the information in her damaged brain.
But ever since Trump-Epstein came into the limelight again, now they just don't care, and they embrace the shit out of it.
The best she could do was to be neutral. I don't support him. I don't hate him. If I didn't know any better, I'd say it's pretty obvious that Kirsch didn't really care all that much about Shadowman's past, until it became a convenient vector to attack Chris Tyson. I might also claim that Kirsch's hesitation to condemn Shadowman was the result of her pandering to that kind of audience, but fortunately, we know better. She wasn't lying or downplaying her fandom of Shadowman. She's got brain damage. Look at the symptoms.
Shad won't draw me because I'm not a mini. He can just make me into a lolly. I've had people make lolly Kirsha before. The world is
Wow.
sorely lacking Shadman's brand of pure provocateur energy. Reddit will throw
Oh my god, these people are shameless.
a fit when he gets back.
Holy shit, these people are so fucking shameless.
I really liked Hillary Clinton. I thought that was pretty prime.
Oh my god.
Can we commission Shad? I don't know if Shad takes commissions, actually. Kirsha is not a Kanye fan. What do you mean? I said I don't mind if he draws me. That's
Wow.
perfectly fine. I would love a weird.
I mean, I don't think we really needed much confirmation that Kirsch is, like, a virtue signaling fuck when it's convenient to her. But this, like, is explicitly clear evidence that Kirsch is, like, virtue signaling about, guys, you know, Shadman's bad, I don't support him, I don't do this, I don't do that. Like, it was obvious from the get-go, but this is, like, for the people that say there's no evidence of it, there you go, this is your evidence. Like, if this is not more than enough evidence that she genuinely just doesn't give a shit about children getting raped, I don't know what it will be.
T-shirt like Hillary Clinton.
It's worth
That fucking laugh at the end, too. Just a shitty cherry on top.
noting that whenever she talks about her past impression of Shadman, she doesn't mention that she did know about him being a lolicon artist, but I'm pretty sure this is all explained by her being brain damaged, which she has been for a long time. I mean, look at this reply to Shadowman from 2021. She's so confused that she doesn't even know what you do on a bed. They're for sleeping, silly. If she had prefaced her take on my video...
I mean, she obviously was doing that with, like, a sexual innuendo. What are we gonna do on the bet? She obviously wanted him to answer with something like a provocateur. Something like that.
by saying she has brain damage,
Oh my god.
I would have been a lot nicer in my tweet. My impression was that she's lying about my video and actively avoiding the subject. She knows that if she had to...
I think Nikandros will go over it in this video. Is he gonna, go over, whatchamacallit, Leaflet? Because Leaflet is a fucking very egregious defender of Nux Taku. Maybe he'll go into it later in this video. But, oh well, I guess not.
engage with the video in front of her audience, she either has to condemn Nux Taku and lose that connection, or totally lose her face. If you pretend the video is boring by lying about it, you don't need to do either. However, she isn't satisfied by merely lying about my video. She'll also platform all kinds of random smears about me.
Took him 50 minutes to get to the actual allegation. Nikandros is a lefty furry! And even the commentary community dislikes him. That's funny.
I don't know if Nikandros is a lefty. Is he a lefty? I'm not entirely sure. I know Nikandros is very, like, critical of right-wing grifting loser fucks. Maybe Nikandros has, like, Purple Perry gaming politics, where he's just, like, a snarky liberal, I guess.
I didn't know Jersh followed a furry. It's a weirdo who tried to use pedo allegations at...
So interesting. Anybody with an animal profile picture automatically means they're a furry. I get that a lot. Like, just because I have a profile picture of a wolf, which is a default YouTube profile picture, that just means that, like, I'm a furry all of a sudden. I'm not a furry, but, like, a lot of people seem to, like, really be attached to it. I even knew one person who tried to, like, fetishize it about me. It was very weird. It was so fucking strange. It's like, no, I'm not a furry at all. The fuck?
Nux to defend Hassan, shocking his dog. What the fuck?
Also, like, by that logic, wouldn't you be a furry? You've got, like, cat ears on, Kirsch, and your fucking VTuber model. By your own logic.
You do get a feeling Nikandros is a cloud chaser and a Hassan.
Oh my god, of course she's reacting to the chibi reviews thing. The little guy who was cucked by, like, a million BBCs.
Fan?
You know, guys, Chibi Reviews, he's been a lot more critical of black people ever since he got cheated on by his fiance. I don't know, guys. Makes you wonder. Really makes you wonder.
I wondered why Hassan replied to one of his tweets. I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Anything goes. Who cares? This was her reaction to people telling her about Shadman's past.
For like the 10th time, Shadman actually made art of a real child. That's if he did so. I have to say if he did so, because I have not received any sources. I just have people telling me.
But you knew about it, though. You knew that he was doing that shit.
I'm not gonna believe without a source. Please.
Guys, my eyes are closed. That means the evidence doesn't exist, guys.
Give me.
Oh my god, guys, I got like sunglasses on that block my entire vision. Guys, I can't see anything. The evidence don't exist, guys. It don't exist, guys.
Source. Not gonna believe words without sources, though. That's how I operate.
Guys, somebody fucking took 2 forks and stuck them in both my eyes and they popped. The evidence doesn't exist.
I want sources, dude.
Kirsch already knew that Shadman was an infamous child illustrator who might still be in prison for something, but she had hopes of receiving some personalized child illustrations from him. So, if you make any claim about him, Kirsch demands to see evidence. However, if you call her a diabetic hog because she demonstrably—
Jesus Christ. That's fucked up. I would never make fun of somebody who's diabetic or fat. That's a bit of a... I mean, like, he's probably not wrong, but, like, I don't know. I probably wouldn't resort to that. She was probably bullied in high school, though. That's, like, probably true.
Lied about your work, she'll abandon her principles and lie about you even more.
Not gonna believe words without sources, though. That's how I operate. Literally, my entire brand is built on trying to be as honest as possible.
Well, that's a fucking lie.
She doesn't have
that might be the biggest lie in this entire fucking Kirsch segment so far.
Expectation of receiving child cartoons. Staying honest becomes impossible.
The Nikandros guy is very clearly a spurg, though. I would not trust anything coming from that guy.
Kirsch is
That's fucking projection. Holy shit.
primarily a political commentator. Her reliability is heavily tied to her knowledge of politics. So
Which is very little, because she has brain damage.
Let's see her grasp on what should be 8th grade civics in the United States.
People watch our show and they're like, you guys are super political. No, we're not, right? I don't even know what any of this shit means. Like, what does an attorney general do for the United States? Anybody? Phoenix?
Sorry, what was the question?
She continues to stay silent for a full minute. Meanwhile, Tectone spins his ignorance about how the government works into a point about how it's difficult to understand on purpose so that government bureaucrats can get paid for doing nothing.
Seems like the Democrats do things. It's just things that most normal people don't like. And the Republicans go, we should do something about that. And then they never do.
Well, counterpoint to that, Trump himself has relied on stupid people to vote for him. He has said this. Like, Trump has said this actually several times, that he relies on really dumb people to vote for him. And that's also why he would take away things like the Department of Education, so people don't have any understanding and that they can vote more for Trump.
What stunning insight. The reality about these conservative creators in the Asmongold orbit.
They're all grifting. The only, like, Tectone in the court documents effectively admits that he is grifting for the right. And he did so because he got allegations against him. Same for, Kirsch. Kirsch is also grifting as well.
Is that they are...
Because she's a big dum-dum. Ah, Leaflet, our favorite... Also, by the way, Leaflet was also exposed for being a threat to children. Children in her Discord server were also exposed to tons of fucking lolicon content. And I'm just like, what the fuck, dude?
Financially tied to each other. It doesn't matter what I say or how polite I am, they are looking for any excuse not to engage. Honesty and principles don't matter. What matters is playing for your side. Remnant 777 learned this lesson the hard way when he called out Leaflet for not taking any accountability for her Discord server, which had its own share of cute and funny characters on it.
Yeah, all lolicon content that she also would have minors exposed to.
For more
and by the way, Leaflet's I think Nikandros is going to talk about it in just a second, but like Leaflet had a fucking weird justification for this, saying that like, oh, it's better that children are in my Discord server than the Discord server of gay people or bi people or trans people. Oh, okay. Wow. You think that they're more likely to groom somebody than somebody that has lolicon in their fucking Discord rampant throughout their Discord. Wow. Amazing defense there, Leaflet. Good job.
Info on that, you can watch these videos. Despite making me look like the smelliest Redditor who ever lived, after getting backlash for making his site look bad, both publicly and behind the scenes, Remnant realized what this network actually values, and his opinion on me turned around.
I do appreciate you, by the way, Nikandros. People are hating on you right now. I'm gonna make a public statement right now. You know, screw all the people who just attack individuals they dislike, even though they say the correct thing. I'm flat out, like, I'm very right-wing. Everybody's accusing Nikandros of being like a left-wing guy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's right-wing or left-wing if he points out something that's true and needs to be addressed, period. Golly, you people want to talk the talk.
I don't really know about this Remnant 777 person. Listen, if you're normal conservative leaning and you have some conservative beliefs saying, hey, I have different opinions on tax policies, I have different opinions on how we should do things systematically in the country, that is different from like being MAGA and then being like anti-brown people, anti-gay, anti-trans, anti-women basically as well, like saying that the country needs to be like white Christians and like supporting everything that Donald Trump is doing and being okay with rape and pedophilia. Like, we're talking like, I would say that normal conservative and like far right shit, the fucking gap between those two is so goddamn high. The lines are very easily blurred now because the far right is so goddamn loud right now with Trump in office, and so it's easy to mistake the far right as every single conservative person. But I think it is interesting to bring that up. Like, I have seen some good faith conservative people, and like, that's fine. Like, you can be like normal conservative as long as you're not a hateful piece of shit or you justify disgusting shit.
Of having principles, but you hate the walk to walk. Nah, that didn't rhyme. You hate to walk the walk.
We obviously don't agree about everything, but from what I've seen, he seems like a very sincere guy with a genuine interest in actual discourse, as opposed to team sports. I don't have any hard feelings about his initial portrayal of me, and even when he didn't like me, I think the signs of him being a fair guy were there.
Why do you as a Christian promote a server that allows people to post? That acts as a gateway. You're introducing people to it when you promote that server.
What does that have to do with anything?
No, he's got a point.
So to correct the record about my leftism and my fandom of Hassan, I don't watch Hassan Piker's content. So if anything, Hassan Piker is a fan of me. You don't need to come up with all these hardships you've been through. Everyone can already see your life is a struggle. You're not white, and you still can't say the N-word. He's got this other laugh about not buying anything. Never gets old. But sure.
It's kind of funny. Poor Mudahar, man. Listen, Mudahar may not have been, like, honest about his, like, engineer status, but, like, whatever, man. Like, Mudahar is, like, he's still a cool guy. I don't think Mudahar is, like, super egregious. A lot of people tend to shit on Mudahar for no reason. Like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, he's a cool guy. Let the fucking Indian tech support guy, like, live his life, man. Let him live in peace, man. He didn't do anything wrong, alright? Like, leave him be.
Kush, I've had some interactions with Hassan on social media. I think you forgot to show how I'm wrong, or how I'm a liar. Now, this video is supposed to be about Nux Taku's response, so let's get to that. Nux Taku's strategy is actually not much different from Kush's.
Now, anywho, Hassan continues his crash out, this time going after me and everyone else. He goes after a lot of people.
Hassan Piker is coming after you?
Dude, I swear to God, these people actually have, like, Hassan derangement syndrome. People talk about Trump derangement syndrome. These people have Hassan derangement syndrome. And, like, listen, Hassan's a bad guy. We get Hassan bad. But, like, compared to all the issues that we're having in the U.S., compared to everything that we need to talk about, why do we need to talk about Hassan for the billionth time? Like, we get it. Hassan bad. Hassan's like, yes, he's a terrorist sympathizer. His politics suck. We get it. I know. And I hear you. But we've heard this a million times already. Like, you people are worse. You people are threats to children. I am more concerned about you guys than Hassan.
What has Nux Taku ever done to Hassan Piker to become the target of such aggression? He's only said Hassan's name on his channel 674 times. He also has a playlist with 72 videos.
That's also not counting the times that YouTube may fuck up the captions as well, because sometimes YouTube makes mistakes on the caption. But like 674 times, that's all the times YouTube captions got it correct. So there's probably even more than that.
64 hours of material in total dedicated to going after Hassan Piker. He's willing to dish out all this shit, even mock Hassan for not daring to mention his name. But when Hassan fires back, Nux Taku is suddenly this innocent little victim. At least he didn't cry on his stream for an hour.
Also, yeah, Tectone, like, claims to be a sexual assault victim, but I'm pretty sure the extent of the sexual assault is, like, his sister, like, rubbing crabs on him or something, or, like, crab animals or something. I don't know. It wasn't even, like, as bad as Tectone was making it out to be. And, like, he just decided to, like, performatively cry on stream.
Instead of
Bro, you couldn't fucking hire Kane Parsons or any other, like, up-and-coming movie director to hire for this fucking weak performance that Tectone has, trying to cry, like, trying to squeeze tears out of his eyes.
Responding to my video, Nux Taku tries to lump me in with Hassan and leverage the anti-Hassan sentiment of his audience to completely discredit my criticism. However, because of the way Nux responded, I am now also able to leverage the anti-Hassan sentiment of his audience to attack him and discredit him even further. If you've seen any amount of Nux Taku's anti-Hassan content, you might be familiar with a certain system.
You all know the Hassan system. Are you familiar with the Hassan system? This is the Hassan system.
Yeah, the thing that you did with your own allegations, Nux. You barely addressed your allegations and you downplayed it, didn't go into specifics, and you've even seemingly are trying to hide evidence as well. This Hassan system, this is you, buddy. This is everything you've done.
The Hassan system is a proven method for handling criticism. Like,
wow, this is the most cognitive dissonance thing we're seeing from Nux Taku of all time.
You know the Hassan system? Like how Hassan Piker deflects criticism?
But
the Hassan...
Excuse you, it's Hassan Parker.
System!
Somebody just posted the Hassan system.
I love the Hassan system.
I know you do. We've already seen you deploy 2 of its tactics.
H. You ignore critics' content to obscure their arguments.
This whole move of lumping me with Hassan is another one of them.
S. Strawman. Attack the misrepresentation by grouping critics with deplorables.
Interesting. You guys paint LGBTQ people as groomers all the time in your spheres, despite the fact that you guys are worse around children. Also, religious indoctrination is objectively more of a threat to children than giving them letting them know about the idea that being born in the wrong body is a thing that people go through, or feeling like you're attracted to the same sex is something that can exist. Religious indoctrination is objectively more traumatic to kids than those two things.
Elon Musk he did a Nazi salute. He works for Trump. Trump is basically Orange Hitler. Am I right, guys?
However, some of these apply to Nux's response.
Funny enough, those are actually valid arguments. Yeah, Nux. Elon Musk and Donald Trump are bad people. Yeah, good job, Nux. You cell phones there. For some reason, Nux thought that was a known. I don't know.
Multiple ways.
Hide. Ignore critics' content to obscure their argument. True, he never reacted to me or anyone that ever criticized him. Recently, someone made a hit piece on me, and it was an hour and a half long, so I didn't watch it, I'll be honest.
You did. He watched it offline, and he has nothing he can say to it, so he's not gonna address all of it.
Then there is avoid.
Avoid.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna claim that he hit it and he's ignoring it as much as possible, but you know damn well he watched that shit offline.
Only weaker.
Just to see if he could react to it live on stream with his talking points prepared. It's the Asmongold tactic. Pre-watch everything and then prepare your talking points in advance.
Never the original person. These people never ever enter a debate at all.
Nux Taku has never debated anyone who isn't his friend or on friendly terms with him. I asked Nux Taku if he wants to talk on Twitter. and he ignored me. It's not very surprising. He has run from conversations with me and harmful opinions before. The last time he did it, it came with the cost of him losing his spot on the Some Ordinary podcast.
Said XTC a dog and a fucking, oh, Jesus Christ.
This is simple. Do you feel that Nux Taku is honestly representing himself in all of this? To you?
On that, no. I mean, I'm looking at that character. I don't know if that's fucking loli or whatever, but it's like fucking dog having sex with a woman, so it's already way bad for me anyways. It doesn't even have to have the loli connotations.
You know, you can say what you will about Mutahar, but when he's right, he's right. Like, he's out here disavowing Nux for his gross shit. Now, granted, I don't think Nux was a particularly good person to associate with anyways, but hey, listen, Mutahar at least is now disavowing him.
Yeah, I think for him to stay on a show and work with me directly, I'm not even talking about like just Caleb here, just with me. He should come and explain these things pretty candidly. And if he can't do that, then I don't think he should be able to work with us in the future. I think that's a pretty fair way to go about it. I haven't seen the Harmful Opinion video.
Harmful Opinions made the video. He's the one that's got the more substantive critiques exactly of that. I've just watched his video about it. I mean, obviously,
if he's not willing to answer the critiques, then I don't think he should be working with us.
I'll expand on that a bit in part 2, but the full story comes later. I don't think name call is even worth addressing. However you might feel about the accuracy of this meme when it's applied to Hassan, if you're going to be using it against him, you can't behave in the same exact way when you yourself are facing criticism. However, I believe we skipped over one of these tactics, which happens to be the one that Nux Taku relies on the most.
That's A, alter in the Hassan system. Drastically misrepresent the opposing view. The new angle that people are taking is that I was grooming people in a Discord. A lie.
That was never the argument. The argument is that you're complicit and okay with grooming. There is a difference, Nux Taku. And you are intentionally trying to make it sound worse than what... Nux Taku is actually trying to make it seem worse than what the original allegation was. So not only are you altering in this whole Hassan... Like, listen, in this Hassan system, not only are you altering the argument, you're also strawmanning what the original argument was as well to make yourself look better. That's embarrassing, man. Dude, like, you can't even actually meet the criticism where it's at. You have to fucking lie about it just to dismantle it. It's pretty embarrassing for you, dude.
I've never groomed anyone, ever, and they've never had any evidence of me grooming anyone, ever. All right, so it's a lot of implications that get thrown out.
Not only did I not accuse him of grooming, I clarified that messages on the Discord about him grooming someone were actually jokes. Plenty of users, including Nux Taku, have also claimed Alan to be underage. Alan is a lolly, no can do. Alan is underage. Does that mean Nux is grooming Alan? What's going on here? I then demonstrated that the Alan in question was actually an adult. These statements about Nux grooming Alan or Nux calling Alan a lolly are simply jokes. Very optically bad jokes, but jokes nonetheless. The Alan I mentioned is, of course, Alan Wiebes.
All patrons are...
Yeah, the Alan Wiebes, by the way, is the guy who was grooming the 14-year-old on the server.
Are invited to the Discord server where we do things like make fun of Alan Wiebes. If you don't know who Alan Wiebes is, oh, trust me, $1 to the Patreon is worth it to meet the guy.
If you didn't...
Oh my gosh.
See...
Yeah, pay $1 to get groomed, kids.
Part 1, Alan Wiebes was the groomer, as the audience calls him, who was on Nux Taku's Patreon Discord. Alan had many interactions...
I see Nikandros is choosing his language very carefully here so he doesn't get potentially sued by Nux Taku.
...with Nux, and Nux repeatedly endorsed him to his audience, despite them continuously sending gore to the 14-year-old minor, Red, on Nux's Patreon Discord. Alan also encouraged Red to drop out of school, which they eventually did, and cited Alan as inspiration. Alan also instructed them on self-harming, which is what Red used to drop out of school.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's all really disgusting stuff. Like, guiding a 14-year-old to self-harm, guiding a 14-year-old to lolicon and gore content, it's disgusting. It's all really disgusting stuff.
I don't even...
How old was he at the time? I think he was like, what, 19 at the time? He was either 20 or 19. There's no excuse for it. Like, 19 and 20, there's no excuse. And also, guiding someone to self-harm is insane.
And call Alan a groomer in the video. I said he engaged in abusive...
I would say it's definitely some form of grooming. 100% it is. Just a lot of child exploitation happened.
And criminal behavior towards Red, and I showed a message from Red in which he says he doesn't believe Alan had that intention, but his behavior was still inappropriate.
This is the guy that made the video. If you want to watch the full video, you should go watch it, by the way, if you want. If you want to watch an hour and a half of this guy calling me a pedophile with zero evidence that I'm a pedophile, you can watch this video.
So fucking pathetic. Dude, Nux Taku, if you're gonna address the criticism, address it fucking accurately. Don't fucking, like, lie about what Nikandros said in his video. He chooses his language very carefully. He thinks that you're a threat to children, which you are, by the way. You are a proven threat to children. Not because you yourself are exploiting the children, but because you're complicit and you're okay with it, which is still bad. That's the argument that he made. There is a difference between the two. I'm not playing semantics over this. Like, the actual, like, fucking terminology matters here, actually. It does.
That would be great. Go do that. All right, I'm not trying to hide that or anything. Just to be clear. All right, we're not putting it under the rug at all. Absolutely. If you want to go watch it, go watch it. I will not be spending 4 hours reacting to an hour and a half long video calling me a pedophile again and again and again for things I've already addressed.
Nux Taku has never previously addressed the state of his communities, and he's never given an honest description of his past content to his audience. He's also never called a pedophile in the video, while I do show him exhibiting very obscene lolicon material.
Well, yeah, like I said, he is also a fucking lolicon enthusiast, and to be honest, if you're somebody who is attracted to lolly or likes lolly, justifies it, I would say you are about as close to pedophilia as you could be. Like, that is pretty close. Like, even if it's not really a child, even if it's not like a real life child being abused, it's pretty close. I would say, and also, let's not forget that, like, a lot of these people, or a lot of child predators themselves, have also used lolicon as, like, a gateway to those things. Like, that's been proven with people that have exposed predators. Like, I think Gideon mentioned it. I think Schlepp, the Roblox predator catcher guy, also mentioned it as well. There's a couple of other predator catchers, or, like, people in prison who have talked about how predators would use lolly as, like, a gateway. So a lot of people that like to use harm reduction narratives, chibi reviews, a lot of the people that use that argument, if anything, quite the opposite, and evidence for the opposite exists against them. But again, in right-wing spaces, facts don't matter, so what do I know?
Channel, I mentioned the fact that Nux Taku has consistently denied being into it. There's a difference between waifu and best girl. Waifus are mountable, so therefore the best girl isn't. However, the art of the best girl is lolly inclusive. Nux is using that word in the petite anime character sense, not the cartoon CP sense. Nux's stance on personally not being into lolly hentai has been consistent for years, but it didn't stop him from posting it onto YouTube. Despite having displayed this content in his videos and thumbnails for years, Nux Taku has consistently denied being into it. Nux Taku might have frequently engaged with lolly hentai content, even lolly beast, and he was putting it on his thumbnails as recently as 2022. But using something for clickbait to increase your income is not the same thing as personally enjoying it. You can make assumptions and speculations about why he went with this material specifically, but those are ultimately assumptions. Just for the hell of it, let's make another argument for why Nux isn't a lolicon. The anime community, which Nux Taku was submerged in for years, is full of people who are openly lolicons, like Nux Taku's friend, Chibi Reviews. He feels comfortable regularly tweeting suggestive images of clearly underage characters. These people are tolerated in these spaces, and there was zero pressure against Nux coming out as a lolicon if he was one.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like generally speaking, you're just not going to be seen as a good person or a normal person by anyone in the real world if you engage in antisocial behavior such as jerking it to lolly and retweeting lolly excessively on your Twitter feed.
And yet, he didn't. Despite being surrounded by these people and having pandered to them for years, Nux Taku has never, to my knowledge, said that he's into it.
Alright gamers, the hentai.
Well, he certainly is okay with Shadman as well, so that certainly doesn't help his case. I mean, if Nux Taku is doing it for his content, he's into it. Like, if he wasn't into it at all, do you really think he would be making it, like, a main part of his content, or made it a main part of his content back then before he switched to right-wing grifting bullshit?
Eggs tier list. Let's go. Lolly. All right, disgusting. I can't. I hate seeing it everywhere, and it's gross.
This kind of consistency is rare when it comes to Nux. The guy contradicts himself all the time. For a brief moment, let me take you to August of 2024. Nux Taku is finally being pressed about his past content, and he was actually...
So to be clear, this is also incorrect. This is not when I was being pressed for my past content. This was...
I also don't know why Nux Taku refuses to... Like, if Nux Taku is going to address this video at all, like, why even bother addressing, like, a random clip of it on Twitter with, Shamu's clip or whatever? Like, just fucking watch the video or something.
Literally a video that I made talking about my 10 years on YouTube because it was like my 10-year YouTube anniversary. All right, this was not like a response to drama video, as far as I remember. Maybe I'm mistaken and I'm thinking of the wrong video, but that's what I thought. Yeah, so, as you can see, I addressed many times that
You also know damn well Nux Taku pre-watched this part as well, just so he could prepare his talking points in advance, because he sucks at speaking in the heat of the moment without looking like a total fucking idiot. Yet he still manages to look like a fucking idiot even when he does pre-watch it.
that I regretted the fact that I would make lewd content and shit back in the day.
I don't know, when people pre-watch shit and then they pretend like it's the first time they're reacting to something, that shit irritates me. Like, when I pre-watch something, I try to make sure that, like, it's known that I pre-watched it, or that, like, it's known, like, from the get-go that I pre-watched something. I tend to be pretty consistent about it. You can go back on some of my older videos. There's, like, several examples. There's a pretty recent example as well. And the reason for that is mainly because I'm a regular to Papa Gut's stream, and sometimes Papa Gut will watch the same videos that I watch. So that's really the only reason for me doing something like that. But other than that, I don't fucking pre-watch, like, anything like that. You know what I mean? Just to prepare talking points in advance. That part's a little bit silly.
Okay, to be honest. And this video was, it was like a 10-year anniversary. This was not like some apology, whatever. Anyway.
This Nikandros video is one that I have not pre-watched, by the way. This one I'm actually watching for the first time right now.
I will tell you the truth about that video and all of the other responses he refers to in the part 2. For now, we are specifically focusing on Nux's claims about the Discord. Red joined the server on September 7th. On day 1, they openly declared themselves to be 14 years old.
I didn't know about this.
In this first...
That's very unlikely, buddy. He made it pretty clear multiple times in the server, and you had access to your server. Also, what? Did you have moderators that just didn't care that they were 14 years old? Is that what you're telling us? That you had shitty moderators?
Screenshot where Red admits to being 14.
Like, the best argument is that you fostered a community of bad fucking people, and you didn't know about that part, or you're too dumb to understand that part. That's like your best argument in that situation, but I don't even think that's what it is. I think you knew and you just didn't care.
Nux Taku is right here. In my video, I show many instances where Nux was present or pinged in close proximity to Red, saying they're a minor, or saying something that would flag them as one. They mentioned things about their school, their head teacher, and other users also pinged Nux Taku in close proximity to messages where Alan was talking about sending gore to Red. Here's a new close call that I came across. Violet pings Nux Taku. I got proposed by Red. Red ponders if by marrying Violet, they can have her arrested. You can't. I can, but she will be arrested and prosecuted. Why do you think that would happen? Could it be Red being underage, perhaps? Nux Taku shows up and says, "Go, fanbase."
Yeah, it is more likely than not that Nux Taku knew the age of the person. He's just lying to save face.
Violet responds, "I can't, Nux. It would be against the law." Nux doesn't respond, but he's still present 10 minutes later.
Yeah, it's very unlikely that he didn't know the age. Very, very, very unlikely scenario.
This is a totally Looney Tunes level of a lack of awareness, especially when you realize how small the server was. I recently learned about this tool for analyzing Discord exports, and according to it, when Red joined the server, the number of active members was 44, which is an incredibly small number. Here is the server's overall activity, Red's activity, and Nux Taku's activity. Nux Taku's most active months on the server are when the events I covered happened. When we limit the users being analyzed to Red and Nux Taku, we see that according to this definition of a conversation, they participated in 130 conversations with each other.
That's fucking crazy. I didn't even know a tool for this existed. Wow, Nikandros really did his homework.
If we include all users, but limit the time range to the first 3 months when Red was on the server, Red was 2.5 times more active than Nux, and the most active person on the server.
Which makes sense. I mean, typically the owners of the Discord server, especially if you're a content creator, are probably not going to be as active. They'll still be active, just not as active. I mean, I guess that to me that makes sense. Nux still had like a decent enough following to have a Patreon exclusive Discord server. Unfortunately, the extent of that Patreon exclusive Discord was this.
Server, with the exception of the deleted users, which would include regulars like Zach, Alan, and some other figures who were too obscure to identify. With these filters turned on, the number of conversations that Nux Taku and Red both participated in was 57. If we look at the period between Red joining and when Nux Taku made the NSFW channel for them, Red is still number 2 in terms of activity, and the number of conversations only goes down to 36. I also showed that Nux Taku was in voice chats with Red multiple times. This is merely Red's testimony, but I showed multiple screenshots of interactions on the former voice chat text channel between Red and Nux Taku, which suggest that they were both in the VC at the time. I also showed the screenshot of Red in a VC with Nux.
Yeah, and also, to be clear, I don't think it's possible to mistake a 14-year-old as an adult outside of, like, very, very rare circumstances. If, like, the 14-year-old had, like, an incredibly deep voice, which can happen, like, that's not impossible, very unlikely. Extremely unlikely. I think the only... actually, one of the few times I noticed this was actually a segment I did, I think, around the same month as the Nux Taku thing, where Dean Withers and this Tashika person, there was, like, some really... it was dumb, silly drama, where, like, Tashika didn't know the age of the person she was, like, saying, like, making inappropriate jokes to. And they were apparently 14 years old, but with their deep voice, you could easily mistake them as, like, a 19 or a 20-year-old, like, on the VC. So, like, that was, like, a lot more believable. And we heard audio evidence of it, too. So it's not like she was just saying that. Like, we heard the live being said. And then he said, I'm 14, and then it was, like, a laughing moment. It's a whole other segment if you guys are interested.
But how can you know that I didn't just censor a random name and avatar? Red actually had a very long nickname at the time, so we don't need to censor these parts. They've also changed their avatar, so we can reveal that too. There are other old screenshots of the server, which show a person with the same nickname suffix and avatar in other VC sessions. This screenshot reveals that they removed the suffix from their nickname in late January 2019. However, they had that nickname as early as December 2018, when they had a different avatar. Here's a new screenshot of a conversation where Red is spamming large text, and Zach posts a screenshot of the conversation. We can see the same nickname here and the earlier avatar, and you can also see that Red was speaking in the VC. There are other screenshots of Red with this nickname and avatar in different VCs. The user who can be seen at the bottom here, TM Philly, was actually Nux Taku's editor at the time. They haven't said anything indicating they knew Red was a minor, but they were in a couple VCs with them. So if Red being underage would have been a problem, that's a person actually working for Nux Taku at the time who could have known. So Red spoke in VCs, and they were in VCs with Nux Taku multiple times. Despite all of these clear signs, we're supposed to believe that Nux Taku didn't realize that Red was a minor.
Yeah. Again, very, very unlikely scenario.
They would later claim to be 15 multiple times, but as they...
I didn't know about this.
It's a very hard sell, and you can tell from Nux Taku's desperation that he knows it. Openly stated, they were lying about their age. Red was...
so they were lying about their age.
Red lied about being 15 when they were actually 14. Again, everyone on the server knew Red was a minor.
I will say, I do remember clearly in my original coverage being confused at this part because I thought they were like, oh, blank is 11. I thought he lied about being 15, but they were actually 11 years old. Or they lied about being 15 or 14 or whatever. They lied twice. It was very confusing, but yeah, they were 14 years old. That is pretty clear.
What's more likely, that Nux Taku was the odd one out and he never realized that Red was a minor, or that Nux Taku knew, but he didn't care? It was not an issue. All of the evidence heavily supports the latter option. Now apparently, I didn't do my due diligence when confirming Red to be 14 because I didn't ask for their ID. I simply did not believe it was necessary. Red had left the server half a decade before I contacted them, and when I asked them if they really were 15 at the time, they recalled being 13 or just having turned 14 when they joined.
Wow. Jesus Christ, dude.
I mentioned them initially saying 14 and later on 15. They said they were born in August of 2004, which lines up with them having just turned 14 when they joined. They said they might have been lying about being older because they were embarrassed about how young they were. This lines up with their admission all the way back then that they were not actually 15 years old. If Red being underage was just an elaborate roleplay on the server, it was spotless and coordinated between multiple people in an effort to trick someone who would stumble upon those messages over half a decade later. Some people still demand to see an ID verification, so I asked Red if they were willing to share a photo of their ID with everything but their birth year and month blocked out. They got back to me very quickly with this. There it is, August of 2004. Red was 14 at the time, just like they said, and just like I reported. Will the skeptics now be satisfied, or will they simply move on to the next thing to be skeptical about? Hey, Nikandros knows Photoshop. Nikandros must have photoshopped this. Well, you caught me this time. Here's the original, and here's the fake. I can show me refreshing the DMs where Red sent me the picture, but maybe Red sent me a fake passport, or maybe I used an alt account to fake these messages. I didn't. This is real. I hope this demonstration shows why I thought that it was worthless to get an ID verification. If you're already skeptical, this isn't gonna do anything for you. There is just so much more.
Well, again, like, Nikandros is trying to prove, like, MAGA adjacent spaces wrong, or people in right-wing spaces wrong. And that's, like, you can try all you want, you can show facts all you want, you can try to prove it in many different ways, and it's ultimately not gonna matter. Like, the facts are against these fears. But they don't care about facts. They care about whatever narrative is fitting their confirmation bias. So they're going to see the Nux Taku allegations as false because they just blindly believe in that everybody that they idolize is in good faith. All the content creators that are right-wing. But they're not. Very clearly so.
Other evidence which supports Red being underage. After my video came out, I've been contacted by 3 people who could be seen in the video showing or saying something inappropriate to Red. They've all offered an explanation for their actions, and if Red hadn't actually been a minor at the time, pointing it out would be a total exoneration. All of them acknowledged that they knew that at the time, Red was a minor. One of them even emphasized how immature Red was, and how their lack of knowledge about adult matters became a running joke on the server.
That's pretty fucking insane. Like, here's the thing, right? I could understand if it was like a Discord server where, like, Ava Tyson's situation, I'm going to use as an example, because unfortunately a lot of people like to spread misinformation about Ava Tyson, and that's not to whitewash Ava Tyson's, like, wrongdoing. Like, Ava Tyson's not a good person, like, mainly because of the Shadman stuff and the other interactions. It's not good, probably shouldn't be a content creator, but, like, the interactions themselves with Ava Tyson were, like, immature jokes that were not being used to groom kids, basically. To my understanding of it, anyways. If they were trying to groom kids, they weren't showing it very well. But anyway, the point is that, like, I could understand if it's, like, a group Discord, and, like, people were, like, messing around, you know, and, like, there was a minor in there who, like, was knowledgeable on these topics. So, like, listen, I was a kid as well, and I fucking saw shit that I probably shouldn't have seen. I'm not traumatized from it. I'm not gonna sit here and say, like, I'm a fucking eternal victim for it or whatever. Like, kids see shit on the internet they're not supposed to see all the fucking time. But, like, you know, I could understand making, like, edgy, immature jokes in a Discord server. And then, like, you know, like, it shouldn't happen, ideally. In a perfect world, it's better for it not to happen. But I could understand that. That's not what's happening here, though. What's happening here is lolicon content's being shown. They're acknowledging that they're stupid when it comes to sexual topics, and they're laughing about it. They're making jokes about it, and then they're sending tons of gore content, and they just don't fucking care about the kid's mental health. One of those people even was guiding that child to self-harm. Like, it's very obvious that they went above and beyond with this. This went beyond just, like, simple edgy jokes in a Discord server.
I want to emphasize that I do not condone any kind of harassment of the individuals whom I feature in my videos. It is entirely possible to do something inappropriate with a minor as a consequence of a lack of thought. If I believed there was anything deeper and more sinister about the actions of these side characters, I would have mentioned that. Red actually defended 2 of them and believed that the reason for their misbehavior was the environment that Nux Taku had fostered on the server. A lot of these people were also very young adults, and this happened 8 years ago. Later on, I will address why that excuse doesn't fly with Nux Taku. In case you believe I faked all of the logs on the server, or that I took them out of context, I'm not the only one who's seen them. I expected Nux Taku to purge the whole server.
It's nice that Nikandros is acknowledging that, you know, like, because, like, I was a fucking immature 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kid that was, like, sending edgy jokes. Like, all of my friends at the time were, like, around the same age as me, slightly younger as well. So, like, we all were fucking edgy in a Discord at one point. Like, I get it. So, nothing weird happened, okay, guys? I know what people are gonna think immediately when I say something like that. Nothing fucking sinister happened from it, alright? Chill out.
I presented it.
I do not have skeletons in my closet. They're all out from my fucking other past allegations in the Dead by Daylight community. They're all out. Like, all my skeletons in my closet are out the fucking door. I have nothing to hide.
Contents to Nicholas Diorio, Dickus, Gwyn Theo, and Samuel.
Now, Nikandros had actually reached out to me, and we ended up going through some of these Discord logs where he literally just pulled them up from the server. He didn't have to archive these messages or anything. He could just search them up and find them and show me what he was talking about.
Nikandros pulled a couple of YouTubers aside, myself included, and did about a 30-minute presentation showing me everything from the actual server. So, in an event where this took place, a YouTuber who covered it can turn around and go, no, it's real. I saw it with my own eyes. So I'm lending that credibility now because I have actually, by his request, recorded our little conversation that we had.
What a very smart safety net as well. Holy shit. Just in case people tried anything. Wow, like, listen, I'm not a fan that Nikandros signal boosted your ability to dox Mutahar in his video, but, like, when Nikandros is right, he is right. Like, he did his homework.
30-minute presentation, and I recorded.
He gets shit done. Like, I gotta give credit where credit's due. Nikandros gets shit done. Like, and he knows how to get shit done, and he's even somewhat proportionate about it.
That instance, if it,
you know, all of this in a weird way makes up for that. Like, listen, I can maybe give Nikandros a bit of a pass for that Mutahar mishap. Like, it wasn't good that he did that, and it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth about him for a while, but I'm willing to give him a pass as long as it doesn't happen again, you know?
Was ever necessary to actually show.
If there was any reason to be skeptical about my presentation of the server's contents, those skeptics could have paid Nux Taku $1 to check for themselves. If they couldn't be bothered to do that, I'd say their critiques are not even worth addressing. For some reason,
some people don't want to spend money. But I get what Nikandros is saying, yeah.
Nux Taku has decided to block
I mean, I guess it is $1, but still.
New Patreon members from joining the Discord server.
Wow, I wonder why he would do that.
I went ahead and I spent $1 on Nux Taku's Patreon. Now, I just did this a moment ago and I ended up screenshotting it. When I tried to connect over to the Discord, this is what would happen to my Discord. You find yourself in a strange place, you don't have access to any text channels, or there are none in the server. And there wasn't any new servers showing up in my server list on the left-hand side. So at the bare minimum, false advertising. I did not get Discord access for $1, but that is the Discord access that anybody else was allowed to for just spending $1. An NSFW channel, as well as a bunch of people being super cool with the fact that you're under the age of 18.
He's also deleted the NSFW channel. If my presentation was a total lie, why would Nux Taku prevent his strongest defenders from doing their own investigation and exonerating him?
Yeah, it's very obvious he's trying to hide the fact that he did some pretty bad shit.
Fortunately, Nux Taku's attempts to destroy evidence are in vain. Thanks to Jenny Matrix, I have an archive of the server and all of its media files. The NSFW channel included, which is 8 gigabytes. However, that's not the only archive of the server. There are others who managed to export their own version.
Fuck, I feel like I'm watching a fucking CSI Miami like video or whatever. Nikandros is like, oh man, if I was Nux Taku, I would be fucking shaking in my boots. Like I said, he gets shit done. He knows how to get shit done.
In the case of this guy, he dug through the logs and has not disputed Red being a minor. In fact, he documented other users on the server attesting to be minors. Initially, the total...
Oh, so this would happen more than once, basically. I'm only 16 years old. This other minor is 17. This minor is 15 years old. Yeah, so there was more than one minor present for all the lolicon content and gore content as well. Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, I'm not surprised, to be honest, because they clearly didn't care about regulating the server in any meaningful way, but still disgusting.
There was 7, which then raised to 12, which is very odd for what is supposedly an 18+ Discord.
So, look, man, I don't know how a minor even got into this Discord server, because as I'm sure he mentioned this in the longer video, I'm not trying to say that he tried to slander me on purpose over here, but this was a Patreon server. For those of you that are unaware, Patreon servers are inherently 18+, because,
This is such a pathetic lie from Nux Taku. This might be, like, the most pathetic lie that he has told so far. You're pretending like minors can't just lie about their age to get past the age restriction, like, policies of signing up on their websites. This guy is such a fucking weird freak, dude. Oh my gosh.
If you want to become a patron, if you want to join a creator's membership as a patron, or provide membership as a creator, you must be at least 18 years old, or have permission from parent or guardian. All right, quite literally, that obviously didn't happen. This was inherently an 18+ Discord server. So if someone lied or stole their mom's credit card, or their mom let their kid join a Discord server from a guy that was making more, you know, adult-focused content on my YouTube channel, that is the parents' fault.
There's a lot of claims being made there, so let's go one by one. First of all, how could a child get into the server? If you saw my video, you might remember a mention of the server getting raided several times. The users doing these raids did not pay through Patreon to get onto the Discord. They got in through an invite link. Yes, you heard that right. Nux Taku did not know how to prevent users from creating invite links to the server. Fixing this issue takes seconds, and the moderators of the server, who did not have proper permissions to fix that issue, tried to tell Nux Taku to fix it, but they were ignored for months. Nux Taku even shared the Patreon Discord invite link by mistake in a YouTube community post, allowing a bunch of people to join in without paying through Patreon. That means the server's user base was contaminated with people who were not age verified, and they had the ability to create more invite links and share them to other users. Patreon Discords are also absolutely not inherently 18+.
For those of you that are unaware, Patreon servers are inherently 18+, because if you want to become a patron, if you want to join a creator's membership as a patron, or provide membership as a creator, you must be at least 18 years old.
Because, yeah. Allegations destroyed, guys. Good job. Wow. Minors can never lie about their age to get access to these things. Amazing debunk, Nux. Thanks.
Or have permission from parent or guardian.
It says right there that they welcome 13+ members. It is not an adults-only platform. Some Patreons are 18+, some are 13+. Nux Taku's Patreon was not 18+, and it did not have an 18+ rule. The NSFW channel existed for over a year before any rules were added. The ones that currently exist still do not mention anything about the server being 18+.
Yep, nowhere in the rules. It would either be in like Rule 1 or one of these fucking rules of it being 18+ explicitly.
When
I mean, like, the general strategy with Nux Taku here is he's definitely, he's not going to respond to this video. He hardly responded to the first one. So if he hardly responded to the first one, this video is, like, an even further decimation of his, like, values and his fucking, like, character as a whole. And so, like, he's not going to respond to this video because he's too much of a pussy to do so. And there's nothing that he can say that would debunk it whatsoever. And so the strategy for Nux is going to be to try to just pretend that this never happened, to delete, like, evidence of his past wrongdoing, just to make sure that people don't talk about it as much as possible. Or, like, try to misrepresent it whenever it does come up so that way people stop talking about it. That's going to be, like, the general strategy from this.
Taku would plug the Patreon Discord in his videos, which he did around 68 times. He did not mention it being 18+ even once. If the server was clearly 18+ from the beginning, why did none of the other adult members report red to Nux Taku when they knew that they're a minor? As Harmful Opinions points out in his videos, several of the moderators who were added later acknowledged that children were present on the Discord, and even said they won't take responsibility if they access the NSFW channel.
There is a note here saying absolutely nothing from minors, by the way. No personal nudes, no content of minors, content depicting the minors, content made by minors, none of that shit. All right, just to be clear.
The NSFW channel did not have these rules on it at the time either. They were added way later. Nux Taku also claimed that he was creating more adult-oriented content at the time, but that's total bullshit. Again, the stuff with Red and Alan happened in 2018, when Nux Taku was still an anime YouTuber. The pivot to hentai content began in August of 2019. Even past that point, Nux Taku had a disclaimer in his video descriptions stating that his entire channel was PG-13. This disclaimer was also on the monkey comic video. When it comes to Nux trying to algorithmically target his content to a young audience, we actually have some data here, which has been gathered and visualized by Jenny Matrix. If we scan Nux Taku's video metadata for mentions of YouTubers that are popular with children, like MatPat, MrBeast, PewDiePie, and so on, we can see that even after the pivot to hentai content, Nux Taku was regularly using these creators' names in his tags. Now, I want to note that this stuff is a little bit work in progress. I can't remember why.
This one might be a little bit of a more iffy point. I think it's possible, and you probably shouldn't have charity in Nux Taku. So, I mean, like, generally Nikandros does his homework on this stuff, so I'll take his word for it. But, like, I don't really... Like, when someone uses tags in their YouTube video, that doesn't necessarily mean they're trying to appeal to a kid audience necessarily, or trying to lure them into an environment where they're easier to groom. I think it's just more of the fact that they're just trying to get more views ultimately, and that's probably what Nux was doing, most likely. I think so. I mean, I suppose it's possible. I mean, again, I'll take Nikandros' word for it, because he generally does a pretty good job of doing these videos, but I think that's just important to keep in mind there.
I asked Jenny to exclude MrBeast from the rest of these. But when we don't, we can see that when the monkey comic video was published, over 60% of Nux's videos that month had a kids YouTuber tagged on it, and for the next 6 months, it was 100%. Here is a graph for kids franchises, here is a graph for NSFW terms, and here are the same for the Nuxanor channel, kids YouTubers, kids franchises, and NSFW terms. On this graph especially, you can notice how he slowly tones it down as it stops working as a meta. He's used the Nux Taku MrBeast tag on his videos 648 times. If you look at this video, for example, I hosted the world's most legendary Rule 34 tournament. We have tags like Nux Taku MrBeast, MrBeast, MrBeast $1000, MrBeast Tournament, Pokemon Rule 34, Nux Taku MrBeast, and of course, Shaden Animations Rule 34. What can we see in the description? This video is PG-13. So even after Nux Taku stopped doing...
Which doesn't make any sense, because Nux Taku would have commenters that would say that they're 11 years old, they're 10, they're 7, or something. Like, I don't even know if I believe the 7 part. That one might just be like a fucking random commenter, I suppose. But if somebody says they're 7 or 8 years old, I'm still banning you. Like, even if you joke about that shit, I still am gonna ban you. I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm interacting with a fucking 7 or an 8-year-old. I have no reason to. Like, Nux Taku still had people under that age, at the very least multiple times, or people claiming to be that age, commenting on his videos.
Anime content. He was still trying to reach a young audience. In 2018, when he was an anime creator, the entry fee to his Patreon Discord was a one-time payment of a single $1. He was not an 18+ creator. The plugs didn't mention it being 18+, and the server didn't mention it being 18+. It was not an 18+ Discord in any way. But Nux Taku claims that it was, because the Patreon terms of service says you need to be 18 or have parental consent to place pledges. So if a child gets groomed on his Patreon Discord server...
that is the parents' fault.
Ladies and gentlemen...
God, it's the same fucking excuse that Leaflet used in her thing, where it's like, where are the parents in this? Like, yes, should the parents be responsible for what their kids are doing online? Absolutely. But the problem is that they're using that as an excuse for the behavior that's happening in their Discord server. Like, at the end of the day, you guys also have a level of responsibility in this situation. So you don't get to pull that card when it's convenient to wipe responsibility from yourselves in this situation. You still could have banned the minor when you had the chance. You chose not to. Sorry, buddy. That's, like, parents are responsible, you're also responsible in this situation.
Then this is the big one. The dragon. It's the parents' fault. It's the parents' responsibility. Parents need to stop being lazy and look after their children.
And why is that? Maybe it's because of weird fucks like you, Nux Taku, or people in your server allowing children to get groomed. Maybe that's why.
Oh hey, it's Leaflet, another right-wing VTuber in the Asmongold orbit.
Oh yeah, she's like super MAGA, by the way. Like Leaflet is like extremely MAGA brain fucked.
Who defended Nux Taku with the same rhetoric.
You know who's at fault?
Like Leaflet is so brain fucked, vagina stink comes out of her ears. Like I swear to God.
You know who has a lot of the blame here? Fucking parents. Parents need to take care of their kids. Because how are their kids getting online looking at 18 plus content? How is that possible?
How is that possible?
I don't know, Leaflet. Why don't you tell us?
When I was a kid, they took away my internet because, you know what I did? I went and I signed up for those free internet providers. I went to freaking Radio Shack, I bought a cable, and I ran it all the way across the room, hooked it up to my Dreamcast, and I was still online.
Get fucked, parents.
Yeah, so this.
What the fuck was that? Did you do like a fucking Elon Musk Nazi salute or something there? What the fuck was that hand gesture?
What I'm saying is like they can't. You're not gonna be able to stop it. You're not gonna know. Like I hid the cable like under the bed.
Okay, yeah, sure. That's cool and all. You found a way to bypass your parents' no internet rule and shit. And listen, we all as kids find ways to bypass shit that our parents put in place, and we don't tell them. We try to be sneaky about it. We've all been there, all right? Like, I get it. But still not a justification to allow children on your Discord server to effectively get groomed and then send them tons of fucking lolly content. That's no bueno. You're also, by the way, Leaflet is 40 years old, and this was happening as earlier this year, I think, and I think late last year, and she is 40 years old, allowing this shit to happen.
They're not gonna know, right?
They're not gonna know, right?
Oh my god. So the first excuse was, hey, kids are safer in my Discord as opposed to being in trans or gay servers. And then now the next excuse is, oh, but children bypass shit anyway, so it doesn't matter. Girl, knock it off, all right? Like, you're 40 years old. You have no reason to have minors in your Discord server, all right?
I'll just get up like late at night, 2 a.m., Fantasy Star Online time, plug it up, wait, okay.
By the way, she's like transphobic as fuck and she thinks trans people are grooming kids. Leaflet's mother has trans porn in her history. I'm pretty sure there's like a video talking about this where Leaflet's mother had like fucking trans Pornhub tabs in her history. Dude, I'm telling you, the most transphobic motherfuckers out there jerk off the trans people behind the scenes. 9 times out of 10. Guaranteed. Like there's so much fucking trans panic, but because they like want to jerk off to it so badly.
Everyone's in bed, open the door. Okay, everyone's asleep. Plug it all in, get ready. Now I'm playing Fantasy Star Online at 2 a.m. You can't stop it.
You can't stop.
When Leaflet is talking about ID verification on Discord, it is impossible for parents to stop their children from getting online. They're not going to know what their kids are doing, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. When she defends Nux Taku 12 days later, she suddenly fails to grasp how parents aren't able to do what she previously claimed to be impossible.
How are their kids getting online looking at 18 plus content? How is that possible?
Yeah, I wonder, Leaflet. You told an entire story of it on this like weird fucking podcast.
You sneaky bitch.
If something bad had happened to Leaflet when she was accessing the internet without her parents' knowledge, whose fault would it be? Would it make Leaflet's parents bad parents? Were they lazy? What exactly were they supposed to do? Watch her 24/7? Install a surveillance camera in their teenage daughter's room? Shackle?
That is the kind of shit that parents would probably do nowadays to like watch their kid 24/7, especially with this shit happening. It would not shock me if parents started doing that to like put even more measures to watch their kids.
Her to the bed at night? That sounds very abusive. Parents obviously shouldn't expect strangers on the internet to protect their children, and they don't. In most cases, the parents don't know that their children are using these services because their child is hiding it from them. Parents should supervise their children, but even with ideal parents, which very few children have, perfect supervision is not always possible. That's why we as adults have a shared duty to protect children. As I said in my video, parents do have the primary responsibility to protect their children. But that responsibility isn't on them alone. If you're publishing content on a 13+ website, the creators, the parents, and the platform have a shared responsibility to protect the children using that site from being exposed to harmful content. Similarly, if you're running a Discord server, you're responsible for what you, or people you've designated as moderators, allow to happen on it. If you allow people to do whatever they want on your server and violate Discord's rules, you're still getting banned because it was your responsibility to make sure that those rules were being followed. Banning minors from your 18+ communities and being aware of the fact that kids can lie about being adults is not the same thing as babysitting someone else's children. There are times when you can say, parents' fault, or more preferably, there was nothing I could do. If you're making 18+ content on an 18+ website and a child is watching your 18+ videos without your knowledge, unless you're advertising your content on a 13+ platform, there's not really anything you can do. You have done your due diligence. If a child sneaks into an 18+ community, no one knew they were a minor, the moderators are putting in a good faith effort to prevent children from joining, and you don't have a porn channel because you know that some minors can slip through, that's also when you can say, there was nothing I could do. I'm not asking for omnipotence here.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just general safety, right? You're 40 years old. I feel like the concept of making a space 18+ is not foreign to you, but clearly Leaflet doesn't want to do that because she thinks trans people are grooming kids. Okay, if you don't want to make your server 18+, why are you sending 18+ content in your server? Lolly content, where you're exposing minors to this content again and again. Like, why?
Really simple.
I mean, like, it really comes down to the fact that they just don't care. Like, MAGA doesn't care about rape and pedophilia, and Leaflet is MAGA as fuck. Again, you're not... MAGA is never beating the rape pedophile adjacent accusations. You guys are far from beating them.
Your community is not appropriate for minors.
And I know that's gonna trigger a lot of people, but I don't care. Whatever. Like, if I'm gonna upset people by saying rape and pedophilia is bad, then you're not the kind of person I want watching my content anyways.
Make a reasonable effort to keep them out. You don't need to adopt them and parent them, give them an allowance and do their homework. Just ban them from your server. That's the beginning and the end of your duty of care towards them. The ironic thing about Leaflet bringing up parental responsibility is that the minors on her Discord server hadn't slipped past moderation, they were explicitly allowed.
They used to get rid of any kids they knew about. So this is originally an 18+ server that at some point they decided to open up to kids. I don't know when exactly or why, and my obvious suggestion is to go back to that. I don't think that's too crazy or evil
so I know why.
At all.
Leaflet told me. And I don't necessarily agree with this opinion. This is just what she told me the mindset was. They don't want kids to go to Discord servers that would be full of trans individuals and trans ideologies, and they would like to educate kids better.
Why are you cool with Leaflet to begin with? Like, the Mommy Akko person is also kind of shady, because, like, I've heard their opinions on Lolicon and Shadman in the past, and they've seemed to be totally fine with it. So, like, why are you even, like, cool with someone like Leaflet to begin with? That within itself is kind of a red flag. I don't know. Very shady. And also, your opinions on Shadman don't do you any favors, Miss Mama Akko. I don't know.
And what exactly was the outcome? Several minors talking about what they're into, including a 15-year-old talking about being into femboys, and being sent thigh pics by an adult user who wasn't banned until harmful opinions drew attention to it.
Crazy.
So, while you should keep kids out of your 18+ communities...
Sending thigh pics to a kid is also very strange. It's like, for what reason? It's not a joke. There's no punchline to sending thigh pics. There's very clearly a sexual innuendo happening with thigh pics, as there usually always is when somebody sends you thigh pics.
Please do not try to protect and educate random kids on the internet. It is not your job. If you notice they have some issues, you can tell them to talk to their school counselor or seek some other professional help. But do not become the counselor. You are a random adult stranger on the internet. Even if you have good intentions, you are teaching that kid that they can trust random adult strangers on the internet. That's not a good thing. Nux Taku's defense was a bit more complicated and dumber than just saying parents' fault. According to the Patreon terms of service, Red must have had parental consent to join Nux's Patreon.
Which he can easily bypass, by the way. It's, again, age verification processes, especially back then in 2018 and 2019, are very easy to bypass. I don't know if they're going to implement a system in 2026. I know that the UK passed a law where children under the age of 16 cannot have social media accounts, and they're trying to implement ways to prevent that as much as possible. But, like, moving forward, there's probably going to be better ways to restrict children from accessing this content. Kids might find a way to bypass that as well. Only a matter of time. I guess we'll see.
So the parents must have consented to everything that happened to Red on the Discord. Therefore, whatever happens, it's the parents' fault, and Nux Taku is not liable. That is simply not how it works. Parental consent is only required because the Patreon terms of service is a legal contract, and minors cannot enter into contracts without parental consent. Patreon is not actually verifying the age of the user in any way, so there's no actual substantiation of Red or any other minor having the consent of their parents to pledge money to Nux Taku. This line of text is Patreon trying to limit their legal liability, even if we equate the possession of a credit card with an implicit age verification. Nux Taku failed to ensure that all the users on his Discord joined through Patreon. You need to be 18 to have a credit card, but in many countries, children as young as 13 can have debit cards. They could have also used a prepaid card or even stolen their parents' credit card to make the $1 purchase to access the server. The disappearance of a $1 is pretty hard to notice. Again, a child joining the server was totally foreseeable. The Patreon terms of service doesn't clear Nux Taku of wrongdoing. It is actually the total opposite. If you know that you have minors in your audience, Patreon's policies instruct you to inform them that they need parental consent to place pledges. Did Nux Taku ever do this? No, but when he created his Patreon account, he agreed that he would. He also agreed that his Patreon benefits would comply with Patreon's community guidelines. Discord access was a benefit, so therefore, Nux Taku agreed to keep the Discord's contents in line with these guidelines. So what does that entail? Nux Taku was not an 18+ creator, so he agreed to keep all 18+ content.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all excuses from Nux Taku. He's just like bringing up all this stuff where it's like, you have to be 18+, you have to be this. It's all an excuse, ultimately. He's going to say anything that paints him in the most charitable light to his audience, hoping that his audience are not going to get educated on the situation.
Of his Patreon Discord. He agreed there wouldn't be any promotion of self-harm, no gore material, no lolicon content.
Well, that was a fucking lie.
And absolutely no grooming. If Patreon actively reinforced their terms of service, Nux Taku would have been banned from the platform in 2018. So Nux Taku explicitly agreed he wouldn't have any of the things on his Patreon Discord that harmed Red. He agreed to shoulder that responsibility in order to access Patreon services, and then completely neglected them. Let's pretend none of that matters. Let's pretend Nux Taku had explicit consent from Red's parents to not only let Red into the server, they also consented to Nux creating the NSFW channel for them, and to all the things that Alan did. That wouldn't matter because parents cannot consent to someone abusing their child. I am not a lawyer, but even in the legal realm, the terms of a contract cannot override the law. If you send gore to a minor on a Discord server, that's a crime, even if you had consent from the child's parents. I don't know whether Nux Taku is actually civilly or criminally liable for something here, but parental consent does not grant him any kind of immunity.
It's hard to say, mainly just from the fact that it is, it's hard to say just because Nux Taku lives in Canada, and at the time the crime was committed, I guess, would he still be in Canada? I guess he would be, right? I don't know where Nux Taku lived in 2018 or 2019. Also, statute of limitations is a thing, so if this was, what, like 6-7 years ago, then he probably wouldn't have been, like, liable for it, because, again, statute of limitations would have passed at this point. I think for something like that, the statute of limitations is either like 4 or 5 years or something.
If his actions on the server constituted a crime. However you slice it, if the only thing protecting a child from being groomed in your small Discord community is their parents stopping them from joining it in the first place, what does that say about you and your community? It sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? But it's basically what Nux Taku said in his defense.
Parents need to make sure that their kids aren't logging into 18+ servers, you know? It's awful, don't get me wrong, but that's that.
If you let your kids around me and they get groomed, that's on you. Also, how dare you slander me as a pedophile? To prevent what happened to Red, all Nux Taku had to do was to have an 18+ only rule. Clearly communicate that Discord was 18+ in his...
And also not redirect minors on his content to a bunch of lolly websites, which he very clearly redirected a lot of them to throughout his content.
Plugs, and tell people to report any minors to him. Red would have been instantly caught and banned. This is very basic stuff, but it was too much to ask from Nux Taku. One of his own moderators described his management of the server with the words, absolute neglect. Just to repeat it one more time, I'm not complaining that Nux didn't do enough to keep kids out of his Patreon Discord server.
I am. I think that's a valid complaint. I know Nikandros is kind of like using it to make a point, but I'm saying that Nux Taku didn't do enough because he didn't do enough to prevent kids from entering his Discord server. He just didn't care. He knew about the ages of the people in the Discord server. Apparently there was more than one minor involved, and he just didn't give a shit. He didn't care. It was actual neglect on display.
The complaint is that Nux didn't do anything at all, and he's now blaming Red's parents for letting them onto an 18+ server.
Oh, I guess Nikandros... Oh, wow, I paused that too early. I guess Nikandros was making a point saying that, like, oh, they didn't do anything at all, because he was kind of, like, using it as a way to, like, paint how he's doubling down and, like, taking it a step further. Okay, I paused too early there. That was my bad.
When there were no
What in the name of AI-generated bullshit is this?
Indications or warnings of it being an 18+ server.
Parents need to make sure that their kids aren't logging into 18+ servers.
The most disgusting thing about Nux blaming Red's parents is that he's not only denying his own liability, he's denying Alan's liability as well.
He noticed how in the entirety of Nux Taku's response, not a single time he has brought up Alan, or the fact that he had Alan on his podcast after all this stuff occurred, praising him and commending him as a person in general. Very interesting.
It's the person with the most potential to catch criminal charges here. Alan was actively sending gore and NSFW content to Red, and said they were doing it because Red was underage. He felt so comfortable
that is really fucking disgusting
doing it that he openly told other members that he was sending these things to Red. Nux Taku could have said,
and not only is he sending them to him, he's also instructing him on how to hurt himself as well.
It's Alan's fault. He could have denounced him, but no. He chose to make the evidence of Alan's crimes inaccessible, and he deleted some of it. If you think Alan's behavior qualifies him as a groomer or a pedophile, he certainly made himself look like one. And
yeah, I mean, at this point, like, it's grooming, for sure. At the very least, it's, like, massive grooming.
And if he is one, then Nux Taku's actions to defend himself have also protected that sort of person from consequences. If Nux Taku hadn't placed all of the blame on Red's parents, he would still be on the hook for not only letting Alan stay on his server, he was shouting him out in his videos and featuring him on his podcast. He literally said that the $1 entry fee was worth it to join the Discord to meet this guy.
If you don't know who Alan Weebus is, oh trust me, $1 to the Patreon is worth it to meet the guy.
What kind of culture do you think these endorsements encouraged? What kind of message do you think it sent to Red? Think about that for a second. According to one of Alan's old friends who reached out to me, Nux Taku was definitely friends with Alan at some point, and he wanted Alan to be his editor.
Hey guys, not only do I want this guy who is definitely a groomer, admits to only sending him inappropriate content because he's underage, but also I want to be friends with him, I want to edit for him, and I want to have this guy on my podcast. He's such a great guy.
Even recalled Alan possibly having seen a photo of Nux Taku's face.
Again, right-wingers, mainly MAGA in particular, not like normal conservatives, but MAGA are really... You guys are having such a tough time beating the groomer pedophile, or at least groomer pedophile adjacent accusations. You guys are not doing a very good job of it.
Again, this is one of Alan's friends saying this, so, you know. The only time Nux Taku told Alan don't is this one. It's him telling Alan not to bring his alt accounts onto the server. That is how early Nux Taku knew about the possibility of people joining the server without going through Patreon. It would remain unfixed for years. So far, Nux Taku has just been lying about the server, lying about his past, lying about my video, conflating me with Hassan, playing dumb, shifting blame, and deleting evidence.
He has done everything he criticizes the Hassan tactics for. That's everything that he criticized Hassan for doing is everything that he has done on display. It's quite ironic and quite beautiful, isn't it?
It is quite possibly one of the worst responses ever.
Just to be clear, again, I'm really sorry if any bad thing happened to any person in any of my servers. Obviously, that's disgusting and horrible. However, it was an 18+ server. That's one. And two...
It was not an 18+ server, very obviously so.
Also important to mention, this Not Safe for Work tab that ended up, this channel, this Not Safe for Work channel, which again, I regret. I don't think I should have ever done that. That was definitely a mistake on my part. I'm not trying to say it wasn't.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, NSFW channel, stuff you shouldn't show to your boss, parents, or younger siblings. NSFW comment stuff you shouldn't send to anybody. Do not send personal nudes or people of you know, content of minors, content depicting minors, or childlike adults. You guys didn't care about this rule because Lolly was sent in your Discord server. So that doesn't matter. That part's gone. Again, that's more evidence that you don't care about regulating your own rules. Art depicting fictional characters that can be reasonably interpreted as 18+ of that particular, that's allowed. But I guess that part doesn't really matter that much. There's nothing here saying that you need to be 18+ to view this channel. So, yeah, that's not a good look for you, buddy.
But 2018, 8 years ago, I guess didn't think about it clearly enough. This server was removed, this channel with the Not Safe for Work thing was removed really quickly. After...
No, it was removed immediately. This guy's so dishonest. Holy fuck. He is so terrified. You could just tell he's really terrified of Nikandros. And he should be. Because this is a horrible look for you.
It was made, I think, if I remember correctly.
The NSFW channel on the public Discord server, which you made 16+ by the way, was removed within a week. But the NSFW channel on the Patreon Discord existed since 2018 until a couple days after my video came out. But anyway, so what if it happened in 2018? That's the reason I compared it to the Ava Chris Tyson Discord.
If you guys can think back to the Ava Chris Tyson allegations, which Nikandros kind of touches on in this video, when we were dealing with, having to put our brains together and look at, the density of messages and these kids saying what their ages were during the Ava Chris stuff, we were looking at that and going, well, it was close enough to these kids saying, what their ages are and them engaging with this material that Ava Chris Tyson more likely than not must have known. If you compare, like the density of messages and these people interacting with like Ava Chris Tyson or Jimmy at the time, it is much worse. It is like magnitudes worse with this Nux Taku server.
Oh yeah. No, the Nux Taku situation is like Ava Chris Tyson, but like a million. It's way worse than the Ava Tyson situation. Again, the Ava Chris Tyson situation, not good. Ava Chris Tyson probably shouldn't be a content creator. But again, Ava Tyson wasn't utilizing the normalized edgy jokes to try to groom children. There's no evidence that suggests that, at least not that I've seen out of the entire deep dive. I do have a deep dive on my channel going into Ava Chris Tyson. It was a Rob's Media video that he made on the entire situation. But yeah, I've been following with the Ava Tyson situation. It's pretty clear that Ava Tyson wasn't grooming kids. The Shadman stuff to me is like the worst thing that Ava's done for sure. That to me is like the damning part, and like being okay and probably attracted to some extent to Lolly. And someone like that interacting with kids on a Discord server within itself is concerning. Absolutely. That's something you can bring up. But again, Ava Tyson wasn't trying to groom kids. Like, when people say that, that is just, like, blatantly misinformation. Like, if people are going to be talking about these situations, they need to be talking about them correctly and actually know what they're talking about, instead of just, like, regurgitating, like, a fucking headline that they saw.
It's a much smaller group because you did have...
And granted, Quinthio isn't doing that right now. Like, he probably doesn't think it's good, but, like, I haven't heard Quinthio make that claim in this video yet, so...
to pay, albeit like $1 or $2. It's a much smaller group, and pretty much everyone in that Discord seems to recognize and address Red as a child, making jokes about it, commenting about it, and shortly after, they're talking about Red or talking about their age or anything like this.
And they also joke about the fact that Red is so, like, not knowledgeable on sexual topics, which is like, okay, that's probably a sign that they shouldn't be there then.
Nux Taku is showing up. Nikandros in his video further shows that they were in Discord calls together. It gets to a point where it is very, very difficult to give Nux benefit of the doubt that he just didn't know what was going on.
Who was a vocal critic of Chris Tyson in 2024 and called her a pedophile over this?
Yeah, Nux Taku.
Nux Taku. Who is 5 months older than Chris Tyson? Nux Taku. What's the excuse here? It was okay to destroy Chris Tyson's career in 2024?
Well, the only reason Nux Taku joined the bandwagon against Ava Tyson, and unfortunately this is a lot of right-wingers were doing this, is the fact that Ava Tyson was trans. And unfortunately, because the Ava Tyson situation happened and Ava just happened to be a trans person that was engaging in this behavior, a lot of people use that to weaponize that all trans people are pedophiles. Oh my god, a trans person going after kids. Oh my god. That's a horrible thing. This is always what trans people do. Meanwhile, you guys idolize a fucking pedophile president that you voted into, like, and a lot of right-wingers more than likely voted into office. So you guys don't care about pedophilia. Like, we need to understand these people do not give a fuck about pedophilia. They don't give a singular fuck. Anytime they virtue signal about it, immediately disregard their opinion. They don't care. Anytime a MAGA person says pedophilia is bad, disregard their opinion. They're supporting one every single day that they exist.
For something she did in 2018, but in 2026, it's too late for that. If that's the case, why is Nux Taku using clips of Hassan Piker from 2018? What exactly is the standard here? Nux Taku goes after Hassan for videos he made 13 years ago.
What did he say? Old enough.
Oh yeah, and the whole, like, old enough to count, old enough to mount clip of Hassan, yeah, obviously very gross thing to say. Back then when, like, Hassan was more, like, red-pilled. Yeah, very edgy joke for sure. Definitely not good, but to my understanding, there isn't any, like, explicit evidence of Hassan going after kids. I mean, he did go to a brothel, and he potentially went to a Diddy party as well, so, I mean, it's not a particularly good look, but, so far there hasn't really been any explicit evidence of Hassan doing any wrongdoing. I'm willing to retract that, though. If any explicit evidence of Hassan doing shit to kids comes out, then I will be glad to disavow that. I mean, I'm not a fucking Hassan cum guzzler, so I'm willing to change my mind if explicit evidence comes out about him.
Enough to count, old enough to mount Hassan Piker. That's right, bro. That's it. And this is
well, even Nux Taku agrees that she's old enough to count, old enough to mount, because I guess he was old enough to count, old enough to mount in his Discord server. Even Nux agrees with you, Hassan.
Coming from Hassan, known for saying if she's old enough to count, she's old enough to mount.
Come back again next week when we discuss the legendary question of all time: old enough to count, old enough to mount? Question mark.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, very edgy joke, and probably not a good look for Hassan, but I don't think he really meant anything by it. I mean, again, 2013 was, like, a time period where, like, a lot more edgy content and edgy jokes were acceptable, I would say.
That's Hassan. Definitely listen to his moral guidelines.
Hassan is playing a character in these videos. This episode was specifically supposed to be more offensive.
There's been a lot of reviews about how...
I mean, yeah, again, Hassan was, like, super red-pilled back then, so... It's just cringe. That's really all this content is. Like, it's not really anything damning. Like, sure, if people want to pull up these clips and laugh at Hassan for saying this, like, be my guest, whatever, who cares? But, like, I don't really think that this is any evidence that Hassan likes kids. Like, it's just... I mean, like, by that logic, any edgy comedian that made a fucking joke about kids or whatever would be, like, a pedophile by their own logic.
A bro tip is not offensive enough, so I decided I'm gonna kick it up a notch.
Even in character, when the things Hassan is saying don't represent his own beliefs, he's merely asking the question, after which a big no is shown. So not only is Nux Taku fine with judging people for things they said more than 8 years ago, he's fine with lying about them too.
And then you're saying the thing that I've done that you consider to be completely unacceptable is like a satirical fucking a shitty attempt at satire that...
So the shitty attempt of satire he's referring to is his bro tips past, where he had comments like, if she's old enough to count, she's old enough to mount. If that's not pedophile behavior, I don't know what is.
Oh, wow. The guy who's into lolicon calling other people pedophiles. Yeah, that's a real nice sell, Nux Taku.
Nux Taku has twisted this one joke from 13 years ago into some regular catchphrase that Hassan would say back then. Now, please note that I'm simply deriving Nux Taku's standards from the standards he holds other people to. It doesn't matter whatever else Hassan might have done, or what your opinion about him might be. Using this quote as an expression of Hassan's genuine belief is just misinformation. and the fact that Nux Taku feels so strongly about it ties very nicely to his Patreon Discord.
And also calling, like, Ava Tyson, like, a groomer of children is also misinformation, which Nux Taku extensively did. Only because, to be honest, I don't even think Nux Taku really cares that Ava Tyson, like, made inappropriate jokes around children or towards kids or whatever. I don't think, like, Nux Taku really cares about that, to be honest with you. I think Nux Taku just cares because Ava Tyson's trans. I genuinely think that's what it is. If Ava Tyson wasn't a trans person, Nux Taku would be saying literally nothing.
By the way, for those of you that don't know, Hassan Piker, largest leftist political streamer in America, has been doing streams talking about back in the day, back when he was a wee baby at the wee young age of 24. He was saying if she's old enough to count, she's old enough to mount. All right, if she bleeds, she breeds.
That's definitely not what Hassan's... I don't know about that. Bleeds and breeds? Why is that the first thing that you thought of, Nux? There's not a single time where Hassan even says bleeds and breeds. The fuck? Listen, I know I'm defending Hassan a lot in this clip, but, like, I don't think Hassan is a good person. It's just, like, if you're gonna talk badly about him, be accurate, at least. Like, come on, man.
He's been saying shit like this, but he was 24. He was just a baby.
In 2018, Nux Taku was 22. And when Nux Taku was 22, Alan Wiebes said these same words right in front of his face on the server.
If that's not pedophile behavior, I don't know what is.
Wait, that is so... I was about to say that's so funny, but it's really fucked up that Alan Wiebes literally justifies sexual acts towards minors. And then you have Nux Taku, who just sits here and doesn't care about it. Huh. That's really interesting. Oh my gosh. Wow. So everything you were criticizing Hassan for was fucking bullshit. You don't actually believe in it, Nux. That's really interesting. The grifter gets exposed again.
After Alan said that lollies are very mountable, Nux...
Jesus Christ, dude.
...reacted, "You are terrifying, Alan," and moved on.
You're terrifying, Alan, and then he just doesn't care.
Within 30 minutes, Alan is talking to Red about the age of consent.
Whoa, the age of consent in Romania is 15. That's a low age of consent. We should probably do something about that. Probably should raise it.
Being
so I can smack your ass all I want. Wow. Jesus Christ.
15. And all the gross stuff he sends to Red specifically because they...
You are willing to send me the most disgusting fucking shit you have, even though I'm 15, which I respect. Wow.
We're 15. This was on the 8th of October. What does Nux Taku say 12 days later?
If you don't know who Alan Wiebes is, oh, trust me, $1 to the Patreon is worth it to meet the guy.
This was already in my original video, but Nux Taku did not offer an explanation in his response. You witnessed a person saying something that you believe counts as pedophile behavior, even when it's said in the context of satire. And you gave them a shout out, and explicitly told your mixed-age audience to pay you money.
This video actually is just like a crumbling of Nux Taku. Like the first video, this is arguably like a more of a crumbling of Nux Taku's reputation than the last video, genuinely. Like the last video was already damning enough to the point where, wow, Nux Taku's a bad fucking person. If last video was a decimation of Nux Taku's character, this video is like, if Nux Taku was the entirety of Earth, like let's just say the Earth was replaced with Nux Taku's VTuber head. I know that's a very terrifying thought, but just let me finish for a moment. Homelander fucking flies in space and just lasers the entire planet multiple fucking times. Homelander is Nikandros in this situation. I just want you guys to understand, like, just how much of a fucking destruction this is to Nux Taku's credibility.
To meet them. This is one of those moments where you absolutely need to respond properly and clear up how it's even possible that...
He's not gonna do that. Again, the strategy with Nux Taku is he's going to move on and pretend like this doesn't exist. He'll try to delete evidence. He'll try to move on from it. He'll try to be like, oh, you know, it's not that, like, I debunked this. These are all false allegations. Nikandros is a Hassan cum guzzler. He's this, he's that, he's all the, like, the other thing. And then he'll just move on. He'll just, like, downplay his past and move on from it. He's going to try to, like, draw as little attention to it as possible. That's really all he can do at this point. And just hope that the right-wing grift lasts long enough to point where he makes enough money to where he'll never have to work a real job again.
At the time, Nux Taku had 250,000 subscribers. You would naturally be careful about who you shout out and endorse. If you saw them make these jokes, how did you justify that decision? Whatever the answer may be, Nux Taku is once again holding others to higher standards. He's willing to make these attacks despite his actions being far worse. There is no date of expiration on when you can judge people for the things they've done. This could have happened 13 years ago, and I would still have a perfectly legitimate reason to bring it up. The things that happened on Nux Taku's Patreon Discord server make it clear that Nux Taku has clearly known since 2018 that he has minors in his audience, and he should have learned from this experience that if you don't actively exclude them, they are willing to join NSFW communities and talk about NSFW content with adults, even past paywalls. It completely shatters any plausible deniability that Nux Taku didn't realize that he was pushing his content to an audience of children. It makes it clear that all of this early porn introduction behavior was totally inexcusable. The pivot to hentai content in 2019? Totally inexcusable. Leaving the Reddit unmoderated? Totally inexcusable. The email competitions? Totally inexcusable. There is some improvement with the public Discord in 2022, since it actually launched with a team of moderators, and it actually had a minimum age rule. But in April of 2021, Nux Taku's plan for it was still to leave it totally unmoderated.
I'm thinking of starting a new Patreon, a new Discord just for all you guys, just to spam your shiz. It's gonna be like borderline not moderated insanity. That's the plan. That's the plan.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't care. At this point, I am fatigued. It's just a ton of bad shit in a Discord all at once, man. I really did forget how truly bad this Nux Taku thing got. It was awful. Damn.
Remember when I said that the Discord predator catfishing video, where Nux acknowledges that predators are a problem on Discord, was released in September of 2021? That was actually a re-release of a video from February. So while Nux Taku is laughing about how funny it would be to leave his new Discord borderline unmoderated, he already knows about the problem of predators on that platform. If not for whoever convinced Nux Taku that he can't just leave his Discord unmoderated, it would have been a do-over of the Patreon Discord on an even larger scale. For about 6 days, it kind of was. So Nux clearly brought up the fact that these things happened 8 years ago in bad faith. He's totally willing to judge and condemn other people for things they've done that are way older than that. If we apply the same analysis to his other defenses, we quickly realize that they were all made in bad faith as well. He does not genuinely believe the things that he's saying.
I mean, effectively, Nux Taku is grifting. That's what a lot of right-wingers do. Nux Taku is no exception to that rule.
If we grant Nux Taku that the Patreon terms of service requiring parental consent means that he's not responsible for anything that happened to a minor on his Patreon Discord, that position does not mesh with his other beliefs.
Just recently, you had the implied nudity meta on Twitch, where they allowed artistic nudity, which is, again, still mind-blowing to me that they even thought this was a good idea, on a 13-plus gaming website, by the way.
What's the problem? Look at the Twitch terms of service. Minors need parental permission to use it, so it's an inherently 18-plus website. If parents are not comfortable with their kids watching this stuff, it's their fault if they let them watch it. What does it matter if the Twitch app comes pre-installed with your smart TV, and because it's 13+, it's super easy for kids to access on any computer with internet access?
Yeah, and not only that, but like, Nux Taku says, oh, it's okay because all of these things are unrestricted. No, Nux Taku, it doesn't morally just make it okay that your shit is unregulated just because kids can easily access it because the fucking systems and the social media platforms and everything allows them to easily access it. That doesn't suddenly just make it morally okay. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like the computers at their school, their library, or their friend's place where you can't supervise them. If following the TOS was a principle that Nux Taku genuinely believed in, he would not only have to apologize for attacking Twitch for 5 years for no reason, he'd have a far easier time defending his past.
Yeah, I do regret making lewd content in the past.
What are you regretting? The YouTube terms of service says that minors need parental consent to use the service. Nux Taku might have used all kinds of tags, brands, and properties to maximize the odds that his content would reach an underage audience. However,
it's totally possible, honestly. I mean, again, the tags thing might be a bit of a reach, but at this point, like, the charity for Nux is very low, so I guess I wouldn't put it past him. to be honest with you. It's hard to have charity for Nux when he just unregulates his shit and just doesn't care that minors can access his shit.
Just like on Patreon, the terms of service says that the parents of the kids watching his videos must have consented to it, so Nux Taku should have absolutely no regrets whatsoever. But for some reason, he still does. Nux Taku does not articulate this distinction, but Patreon has a paywall, whereas YouTube and Twitch don't. If we steelman his defense and shift the focus from the terms of service to the paywall, which we then equate with an implicit age verification, Nux's old YouTube content and the rants about Twitch hot tub streamers would no longer be sufficient to demonstrate hypocrisy. Assuming all of that in his favor, and I'm literally inventing more arguments in favor of Nux to take down, it wouldn't save him because Nux Taku did not merely criticize Twitch for exposing minors to bikini ladies.
Every single freaking ASMR streamer on Twitch is linking their OnlyFans because ultimately Twitch is a massive funnel to that stuff.
Wow, Nux. Oh my gosh. Titty streamers are bad because kids can watch titty streamers. But if you have access to Lolicon and you have somebody telling you how to self-harm in your Discord, now that's pretty based. That's pretty nice. Feel free to send that shit.
And Twitch.
The fucking irony in all of Nux's clips is pretty insane.
Twitch knows that. Most of Twitch these days is a literal funnel to OnlyFans.
Twitch is...
I mean, that's probably true, but like, that's... more, I mean, it's not like the fucking OnlyFans models are trying to attract kids to their content. Is there any evidence of that? If there's actually evidence of that, by all means show that, Nux, but oh, wait, no. If we're just gonna continue to try to paint OnlyFans women as bad, you're also friends with Tectone, who raped his ex. Also, there's a couple of other things. They have 18 plus warnings everywhere, so if it really is a funnel and they're a danger to kids and they're intentionally trying to attract we're embellishing information. Because that's what we're doing here. We're trying to basically communicate that women are trying to funnel kids intentionally to buy their OnlyFans. But this is a fucking lie. You're not actually proving anything here.
Funneling children to OnlyFans. In case you didn't hear him specify children, here's another clip from November of 2025.
In the past, they've made plenty of questionable bans and unbans. Like having full-blown penetrative sex on stream was a 3-day ban.
Twitch's hentai, as a very wise man once said. It really is just a soft to hardcore site that's used to funnel children into actual hardcore sites like
Wow, because you care so much about this topic, Nux Taku. So true, King.
OnlyFans. That and terrorism. It's literally tits and terrorism on this website. How on earth has it not been swatted?
Patreon.
Well, I mean, I guess when you think about it, tits and terrorism are the opposite ends of the spectrum of each other. You know, tits is a form of therapy, terrorism is a form of trauma. So when you really think about it, tits and terrorism are two sides of the not same coin at all.
Accepts 13 plus users. OnlyFans doesn't. It's an 18 plus, adults only platform. So when Nux Taku goes after Twitch women, he does not care about the terms of service. He does not care about parental responsibility. He does not care about paywalls. And he does not care that parents are not checking the transaction history of their children's debit cards, or that kids might steal their parents' credit cards. He holds the Twitch platform and these streamers directly accountable for funneling minors to a paid adult platform. I'm trying to hold Nux Taku accountable for funneling a minor through a paywall on a 13 plus platform. So in the best case scenario, when we are steel manning his defense, Nux Taku is holding these Twitch hot tub streamers to a higher standard than I am holding him in my video. It's almost like every single standard I'm trying to hold this guy up to is a standard he has held other people to. If you make videos featuring suggestive material of characters that are popular with children, like Rule 34, children are going to be watching that content.
This is insane. It's insane that there's a channel that's out here just grinding this stuff. And you know who's watching this, right?
Yeah, it's content that you like to farm a lot, or you used to like to farm a lot as well, and it was being sent in your Patreon Discord server that you conveniently deleted evidence to.
You know who's watching this. It's kids. It's kids that never figured out about Twitch meta yet.
Wow, you care so much about this point, Nux.
It's kids who too
You're fighting the good fight, Nux. Good job, buddy.
young for the Twitch
We totally wouldn't have skeletons in our closet at this point, right? Right?
meta.
Then he uploads that video on his channel with no added censorship, with this thumbnail and these tags in January of 2024. He also understands that the presence of adult content on a 13+ platform functions as a way for children to circumvent their parental controls and access 18+ content.
As you know, whenever someone says Twitch meta, it's just women on Twitch finding new ways to sexualize themselves and get mostly underage people that can't log on to porn sites.
Mostly underage people that can't log on to porn sites.
Oh, that's interesting. We acknowledge that kids shouldn't be allowed to access porn sites, but you were constantly, What is content that Nux Taku did way back in the day? You know, where he would review lolly content. He had kids commenting, saying that they were kids in his comment section, and he had the websites unredacted so kids could access these websites at any point, and we know that kids were accessing these websites at any point. Oh, I guess we're just gonna pretend that we were never doing that shit now, huh?
To you know.
Wow.
To beat it a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying, guys? I totally wouldn't know anything about that, guys. Please don't investigate me.
You know what I'm saying?
Me too. Me too.
Okay, fucking gross. But did you notice the absence of parental responsibility being mentioned? It wasn't mentioned in 2021, 2024, or in November of 2025. What about this clip?
Talking about OnlyFans girls is an entire meta of content creation that
Oh, great. Oh my god. He's, of course, Nux Taku is gonna watch the dog shit Think Before You Sleep video that actively tries to sweep for Tectone, aka Mr. Think Before You Sleep for a rapist.
has existed for years.
100%.
And
Where fucking Think Before You Sleep tries to paint Hassan as like this puppet master for all the allegations with very little evidence.
I don't know, maybe it has something to do with people like Morgpie trying to bend Twitch's rules.
Oh, and by the way, Hassan knows Morgpie, which means that the allegations are fake, guys. I just mind-fucked each and every single one of you with my fucking 2-incher when it's hard.
So she can show her boobs to 13-year-olds and try to get them addicted to pornography.
Yeah, man. Everyone that streams on Twitch is
Think Before You Sleep's dick is like a soft ant. That's what it is.
It's quite literally bringing people to a platform where this crazy shit is happening. I'm just saying. No, this is insanity. It's insanity that this is allowed on Twitch. Sexual content. Again, I always said this. Twitch is just tits and terrorists.
So we are again holding the hot tub streamers on Twitch that are advertising their OnlyFans directly accountable. No mention of parental responsibility, terms of service, allergies, bone spurs, or fibromyalgia. This guy has been ranting about the Twitch meta since early 2021, and he never mentions anything about parental responsibility. He does not even expect to get that response because he knows it's stupid. It's a totally worthless deflection of responsibility that he doesn't allow anyone else to make. After my video came out, and he's the one being criticized, after 5 years of ignoring it, parental responsibility suddenly matters. However, I believe I may have forgotten to mention something. Nux Taku's response to me came out on the 13th of February. The clip I just showed you was 3 days later. 3 days after defending himself, parental responsibility, terms of service, or paywalls no longer matter. This guy is a total liar. He doesn't believe anything he says. Ironically, the guy screaming about lies, defamation, and bad faith is himself the pinnacle of lies, defamation, and bad faith. Now, I've used phrasing in this video many times, which could be interpreted as me saying that Nux Taku knowingly targeted children with 18+ content for some kind of malicious reason. I have not seen a smoking gun for Nux Taku wanting to corrupt the youth, or that he's getting off to the...
Well, at the very least, he is extraordinarily neglectful of corrupting the youth.
...idea of kids getting exposed to 18+ content through his videos. Maybe that sounds insane to you. I mean, why would he tag Mr. Beast if he didn't want children to watch his content? Well,
Mr. Beast is a big content creator. Also, maybe because of all the other controversies he's been in. I don't know. I suppose that's a valid claim that Nikandros made, yeah.
massively popular with children, that's true, but it's also a massive channel. There is another explanation for all of these things. Nux Taku wanted to make more money, and ethical concerns were not an obstacle. It's actually very easy to facilitate harm on a massive scale when all you see are numbers on a screen, and the more harm you do, the more money you have flowing to your account. I might be totally tunnel-visioned, but at this point, for me to call Nux Taku...
I mean, again, like, the charity for Nux Taku is low, so, like, I'm willing to accept almost any theory at this point. So long as we're talking about it, accurately.
...pedophile, I'd basically need to see him admit it. Would Nux Taku ever give this much charity to someone else? Of course not.
Yeah, it's not like Twitch that literally knows that it is a giant marketing scheme to get kids addicted to porn. Like, that is the Twitch meta. It's not the YouTube meta.
And where's the evidence for that being Twitch's motivation?
He just doesn't show anything. He just claims it. He just says, oh, hey, look, OnlyFans girl bad, and then he uses that as, like, a vector to try to make a claim that's absolute fucking, like, nonsense.
Is he just looking at Twitch's...
Like, I'm sure kids access these Twitch streamers, but it's not like these Twitch streamers are trying to get underage people to watch their content.
...behavior, and assuming that's the case. If so, I would be 100% justified in saying the same thing about Nux Taku, assuming we're judging him by his own standards. But I'm not going to do that because he has no standards. He will say whatever he can to maintain an audience and to make money. So, what else do we got?
Now, I find it ironic that people like Hassan...
Oh my god.
Hassan is calling me...
Yeah, you know, at this point, me too. Every time, like, Tectone, Asmongold, or Nux Taku, they say, oh yeah, so people like Hassan, by the way. Yeah, hey guys, I have all these, like, bad things happening. There's all this bad shit happening. By the way, Hassan, it's just like, I roll my eyes too, because it's like... You people are so, like, yes, Hassan's bad. There's things you can call out Hassan for, but you guys have Hassan derangement syndrome. Genuinely, you guys have legitimate Hassan derangement syndrome. It's like so, it's boring. Hassan is boring. He's a boring lolcow. I don't care. I do not give a shit about Hassan. I don't care. I've reached a point where I do not care about Hassan anymore, because you guys talk about him so fucking much. It's boring. Like, yeah, will I care maybe once Trump is out of office and the narrative fully shifts back left? Sure, maybe there's room to care about Hassan then. But right now, I'm not nearly as concerned with him compared to you, Nux.
A pedophile for things he's done, alright?
Alright,
guys, I'm so insecure, guys, please don't dig into my past.
Nux Taku complains about Hassan going on a podcast with the Anime Man and Giguk, who Nux claims are pro-lolly, and his evidence is a tweet from 2019.
I don't think Nux has any room to talk about being pro-lolly. Homie had people sending lolly in his Discord. He also looked at lolly in his past content. And not only that, but he also was totally okay with Shadman in the past. Like, dude is the lolly extraordinaire for all intents and purposes.
But there's more.
It's like, I don't know. Nux Taku calling out other people for lolly is like fucking Joseph Stalin calling out other leaders for starving and starting a famine in their other countries. Like, what are you talking about, my guy?
Figurines of sexualized anime children on their broadcast.
I'm not exactly a fan of Aramanga Sensei, but this...
Yeah, so Aramanga Sensei, for those of you that are unaware, it's a story about, I think she's like an 11-year-old girl that moved in with her stepbrother after her parents died or something.
And then it's, oh god, I already know where this is going. God damn it.
And they work together to create child hentai. Or something.
How would you know about that, Nux Taku, in particular?
Episode 2, Sagiri's classmate Megumi comes to check on her because she isn't going to school, but dead ass.
Why the fuck is Liam Donovan? Hold on. Is this Liam Donovan in an anonymous mask? What the What the fuck? Why is Liam Donovan here?
Megumi comes to check on her because she isn't going to school, but dead ass, randomly mid-conversation, she just drops this.
Oh my god, why am I watching this? Why the fuck am I watching this? Oh my god. No, stop, this is so gross. stop.
And keep in mind,
Oh my god.
It's pretty awful. It's a pretty bad anime, I'm not gonna lie.
If Nux Taku was logged into his MyAnimeList account, you would see that he watched 8 out of 12 episodes and gave the show a 7 out of 10.
Well then, Nux, that's how we know that he's educated on this. I'm laughing so fucking nervously here, because it's, oh wow, yikes.
So,
Yikes, Nux.
Oh, after
you know damn well Nux was beating his fucking meat to this shit.
Seeing this scene in episode
The only reason he gave it a 7 out of 10 is because maybe he just didn't come enough to it, I guess.
2,
but he still came nonetheless.
He continued watching for 6 more episodes and rated the show slightly higher than the average user. For reference, the anime man, one of the people that Nux Taku is accusing of being a lolicon here, rated it 2 out of 10. Giguk, on the other hand, gave it a 10 out of 10. You'll be hearing more about these guys in the part 2. The anime man might have been an
Oh wait, I just realized Nikandros uploaded this video, Nux Taku's Defense and Degenerate Defense Network. So, is this not even like the official part 2 of Nux Taku yet? Are we gonna get a third Nux Taku video from Nikandros? Oh my god, dude. Brother, at this point, like, if last video was a decimation, this video is Nikandros being Homelander destroying a planet of Nux. Put a fucking, like, black hole next to a universe in the third video, and the universe is Nux Taku. That's gonna be what Nikandros does, bro. Kind of hyped for it, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of all here for it. Nux Taku really deserves it.
And lolicon in 2019, but Nux Taku forgot to mention that back in the day, he proudly claimed to have inspired him, and Giguk, and many others, to create hentai review content. You see, Nux Taku wasn't following a meta back in the day.
You are known for pushing the limits of what is acceptable on YouTube.
He pushed the limits.
All of a sudden, Lord Nuxinor comes along with like an angelic choir in the background and introduces the YouTube scene to Giantioi. All of a sudden, blammo! Lost Pause, the anime man, heavenly controller, following the trend. Very cool, fam. I would do the same thing.
This is why I don't even fucking if I do jork it, I don't fucking jork it to hentai at all. There's too many like Japanese depictions of underage children. It's just not worth the risk. Dude, if I jork it, it's just like go on Twitter or fucking Instagram or something. That's like all those platforms are good for nowadays. It's just fucking porn or like OnlyFans women promoting their fucking porn or something.
And though this time I'm the trend setter, feels pretty good, not gonna lie.
Make sure you're 18 plus if you do that, by the way. Any minors that happen to be watching my, I hope you're not watching my content if you're underage, because if you are, then that's not good. I don't want to be interacting with you. But if you're 18 plus, yeah, that's something you can do.
Us, the trendsetter.
I mean, I've inspired countless others. No, the anime man, heavenly.
He inspired countless others, and that includes Giguk as well.
The fact that I, at least I'm convincing myself, inspired Giguk's video, I must say I'm honored. I've been watching Giguk all the way back when, long before I started my channel.
But again, that's for the part 2. To summarize Nux's response, he deploys the whole Hassan system at me as he sees about me ruining his public perception with things that he himself said/did, and then immediately lies about me while still scared to say my name. Cinema. So, Tectone, how do you feel about Nux Taku now?
Nux is a fucking Jew creep, and that's facts.
Whoa, that's a bit uncalled for, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Yes it is.
No, it's not.
Whatever. See you later.
That's a very interesting ending.
Shout out to Elon Musk, the ultimate swag champion of all time. Now, the serious question I have for Elon Musk is this. How do you have the time to come up with this shit when women are probably tossing their salads your way faster than you can say Hyperloop in every single corner?
I mean, I guess Hassan's not wrong. Elon Musk had 4 baby mamas that he has 14 children across. So I guess he's technically not wrong there.
You're a designated genius, you're a good-looking dude, and you happen to not be a fucking billionaire. Anyway, Elon, I admire your conquest in becoming the real-life Tony Stark without the creepy facial hair, and for that, you are our bro of the week.
Incredible. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this has just been a absolute fucking destruction of Nux Taku's character. Like, last video, I didn't think you could outdo last video, and this video arguably outdid last video. Nux Taku is really disgusting piece of shit person, and I'm all here for this expose of him. You know, good shit, Nikandros.